No worries.
Greetings and salutations! Welcome everybody. I am late. I have not put on my light. Bright light.
You're in the shadows.
Yes, indeed. And I've also not said you're audible, by the way. I am joined by JStation64, as you've already heard. My cat should be on his way. He was just finishing off Superliminal, which was a weird game. Very interesting to watch, and I'm kind of curious to pick it up in a while after I've forgotten my cat's playthrough. Because it is a puzzle game, which is one of them where it's like, puzzle games are all fine and well, but once you know how the puzzles are done, then it becomes a bit of a sort of like, yeah, this isn't really a challenge anymore. I think I mentioned last time, last week, where it's like, it's all, I have noises. It's just JStation hosting my stream. Thank you very much for that. So like, what's going on? Why am I getting noises? It's all like with Portal. Played that through the first Portal. Played it through once. Great game. Figured, it's taken a good few hours. I'll go back and play it again. And yeah, it took me about half an hour to complete the entire game. And it's like, yeah, it doesn't quite have the same when you actually know how everything's done.
Yeah, once you've unraveled the puzzle, it's not that. Well, it's a bit too easy to do it a second time.
Yeah, I think you do need to leave it a good few years so you've forgotten aspects of it. But even then, chances are you're going to retain something. There's certain tricks that you'll remember. Like the whole... There's one trick where it's like you need to jump down and go in the thing so that you fire out far enough, but then you need to catch yourself so that you go back through and fly even farther, that I remember. And I can pretty much envision in my mind that entire puzzle room, so it's like, until I forget about that, there's always going to be an element that I remember, which kind of defeats the purpose of playing games like that. You play them for the puzzle, you play them for the
there comes a point.
enjoyment in all of that.
Working it all out.
So yeah, probably not going to play Superliminal anytime soon. I didn't focus on watching Magcat stream because I do want to kind of get into it. Greetings, Magcat_UK. Welcome to my channel. Greetings, Raiders. I hope you enjoyed Magcat's playthrough of Superliminal. I know that I did. Just setting up here.
Howdy, folks.
And we've got an Elusive Target in Hitman 3, but me and JStation, we also have a bit of a side quest.
I'm totally not doing that right now.
We'll all be in voice shortly. We're gonna go get some food and a drink and get brain back into reality. And Saber's brain still hurts. I mean, bricks.
Remember, the glass being far away doesn't make it bigger.
Yeah, that's cursed and skippable ad. Evening, all things geek girl. What's interesting is Twitch does not know what the fuck it's talking about, because it basically says, a minute ago Magcat raided you with a party of 2. Well, there's Magcat, there's Saber, there's Sebasta, and there's all things geek girl. That's 4. 3 if you discount Magcat.
Yeah, I found that the rating listing is often inaccurate.
Yeah, it just seems weird. Like, it's how difficult is it to count? Really isn't.
I'm at the difficult spelling stage now.
Difficult spelling. Oh, right, yeah. So anyway, as I was briefly mentioning, me and JStation have a sub-quest to be doing, which is, we've both got the newest release of a PlayStation, not a PlayStation, a Pokemon game. I've got Shining Pearl? No. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl?
I've got Brilliant whatever it is, and you've got Shining the other one.
Yeah, I got Shining Pearl, you've got Brilliant Diamond.
There we go.
On the Switch. So you can see it there. And the thing is, what we want to do is...
I didn't know you had a yellow Switch. That's pretty cool.
I got the Eevee Switch.
Oh, did you?
If you look at the back, if it doesn't show up too well on this, can I... There we go. You can see the silhouettes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Can you name those Pokemon?
Eevee and Pikachu.
Yeah.
I barely know that because it's the Let's Go Special Edition.
Who's that Pokemon?
I like the curse ones of those where it's all like, who's that Pokemon? And they actually reveal it to be a different Pokemon, but with a...
Yeah.
And it's like, with the...
It's so simple, it's so enjoyable.
And so yeah, we don't want to choose between the starting Pokemon, so what I've done is I've played a little bit of it earlier, maybe while in work, who knows, and gotten myself to the point where we can trade Pokemon, and I've collected 4 Junkers. JStation 64 is going to go through, get the starting Pokemon, trade them all to me, and then once he's done that, he needs to get the last of his starters, get 2 Junkers, and I trade 2 of them back.
Yep. And then we'll each have all 3 starters.
And then we'll have all 3 starters. And
it's a pattern developed back in the days of Red and Blue, and trading done by cables.
Yeah, you do have a Nintendo Online account thing, don't you?
I do. I've sent you a friend request.
Oh, good. Hey, Ghost of Sonic, they all come from Pikachu and they all become Pikachu. You mean all Pokemon aren't Pikachu? I've got one of the games, can't remember which one, currently playing it with Wifey. I'm very late to the whole Pokemon scene, by the way. I have the Switch, which has got Let's Go Eevee. I have Shield, and I've got this latest one. And that's
hey, Richard Ted.
The entirety. Hey, Richard Ted. I'm here, but playing No Man's Sky with the sun at the moment. Fair enough.
Spy you playing some No Man's Sky.
We were just talking about the fact that this is going to be mainly me playing Hitman 3 on stream, but once JStation's in certain positions, gonna have to take a moment to get stuff sorted out. We'll keep up the commentary, but there won't be anything to see on screen. Right, okay, so without further ado, let us get into the game. Oh, wait, no, turn this into...
IR transfer, that was it. Latest technology, that was great. Wireless transfer of real Pokemon.
Yeah, I've never had to worry about them kind of things.
I do feel like I'm part of a community now, though, because half of my current people who I follow streaming are all playing Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. It's so many instances of that on my Twitch at the moment.
Yeah, you've curated a very specific list there, I guess.
That is very telling, actually. I didn't think of it that way.
I've not got anybody who's streaming it, I don't think, that I know of. I know that there's plenty of people out there that I know of that are basically playing it and the rest of it. Don't know how many are actually going to stream it out of the people I know. Anyway, let's get into this Elusive Target, watch the briefing at least, and see what we can learn from the briefing. Only got 62 hours and 49 minutes to go.
The Fugitive.
At the Gamma facility in Hokkaido for facial reconstruction surgery.
Not got any audio on my side. Don't know about the stream.
The stream should be okay.
Gather information to identify the target, and I will relay this to you as I receive it. Be ready to improvise, however. The clock is ticking 47. Good luck.
You are watching this in Discord, and Discord isn't muted, right?
The stream has ended in Discord.
The stream's ended in Discord?
Yeah. And this is back. There we go.
There we go. Okay, right.
Sorry about that.
No worries. Let's listen again.
Your target has arrived at the Gamma facility in Hokkaido for facial reconstruction surgery. This gives us a window to engage, but the very nature of the surgery will make him difficult to identify. The clients are cooperating to gather information to identify the target, and I will relay this to you as I receive it. Be ready to improvise, however. The clock is ticking 47. Good luck.
Do you reckon this is because they're going to make a remake of Face Off? They've done this to celebrate.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure this is actually an old one made new again.
I might be.
Mm.
It's the world's crappiest disguise. It's a blaster.
A very quiet, apparently, from Ghost of Sunny.
It was a bit quiet my side. I wasn't sure if it was just more Discordian issues.
I mean, how could everybody hear Diane on stream, or do I need to mess around with things?
Professor Layton was a great game. That's the one about you talking before about puzzles. Is once you've done Professor Layton, you can't really redo Professor Layton because you know all the puzzles.
Wibble.
Hello.
Saber, yes to it being very quiet. Yes to it. I need to turn it up. Yeah, I could hear her fine. Okay. Ghost of Sunny, go wash your ears out. I don't know. If you really need to, I can turn it up. Greetings, my cat. How's the brain going?
It's slowly melting back into a puddle at the bottom of the skull, where I can do something with it later.
Right, I get the
It's
feeling.
it's weird. You come out of Superliminal and it's not like I generally believe I can reach out and make things bigger and whatnot, reaching away, but your brain is disconnected and it's trying to reconnect everything. It's an interesting feeling.
Slight disconnection with reality.
Well, you did mention
just
so
enough.
like last week. There's a warning on the game where it's like it's not just the epilepsy warning; it's the one about disassociation.
Yeah.
And that is potentially, very much so like, yep, your brain has decided to disconnect from reality. Alright, Elusive Target. Usual rules apply. You must begin the contract before the countdown expires. If you die, you may not retry the contract. Once you have completed the contract and successfully exited, you may not retry the contract. Once the contract has begun to complete objectives, you may no longer restart the contract. Plan accordingly. You cannot save while playing in an Elusive Target. The contract briefing may contain additional fail conditions. I mean, this hasn't got additional fail conditions. The main difficulty is actually we don't know who we're trying to kill off. And I
Many
feel
people wearing those robes.
all the patients are wearing those robes.
Ah, okie dokie.
Or most of the patients are wearing those robes.
And await additional information as I receive it.
Yeah, I can hear the band talking,
Hospital records to discover signs. Get hunting.
but I can't hear the words she says.
I mean,
Jump off, Agent 47. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
and drop. And I just
Elusive
remembering
Target
if you
fail.
die, yeah, I just remembered it's like maybe I shouldn't play around doing things like that.
How did you fail that, Elusive Target? Wow.
Yeah, I jumped over the edge.
How are you?
I don't think I've ever heard that tally before.
I mean, it's weird because some parts seem a little bit quieter, and then others are it's like, "How are you?" And it's like, Jesus, that was loud.
You gotta love a carefully balanced bit of media.
So yeah, one other thing I need to do, I want to just double check challenges, elusive targets. If we can do this silent assassin, then I'll be on 4 out of 4 out of 5. If I get this elusive target, I will have completed the base number of elusive targets. I'll get a white.
I so misread the reward as casual underwear, and I was like, pardon?
Casual undercover.
Casual
yeah.
underwear.
If I complete this, I'll get the white yukata, and then a bunch of XP, which is XP in this game is the most useless reward I've ever noticed. But yeah, everybody's wearing the white yukatas.
Aye. Yukata and Yukata.
It's
and
simple.
Yukata.
You're looking for a guy whose textures haven't loaded.
That's not quite how this works.
I guess you're looking for a guy with a band. Oh, there's probably gonna be more than one person with a bandage, though, right?
That's what they're telling me. So yeah, there's this person over here.
Kill him. Kill him.
You're not helping, you know that?
You've come so close to so many silent assassins as well. You need to nail this one.
Have yourself some bricks. I haven't sourced any bricks.
Resources. The true assassin's weapon.
See,
Actually, gets me thinking, are there any bricks on this level?
Agent 47 bringing a whole new meaning to bricking it.
Oh, don't Google bricks in a car door.
I mean, if the bricks were anywhere, and I suspect them to be out here.
Could he be bandageless?
Well, it depends on. So the briefing basically showed a bunch of people with bandages, and one of the guys looked. I wasn't planning on it.
He's just going straight to the helicopter. He's out of here. I'm done.
He's going straight for the edge.
You ever wonder if people like that actually want to recommend it, but they don't want to recommend it, so they say it so you get curious?
Can you you can kill non-targets, right? Can you cancel if you kill a non-target?
Yes, as long as I don't complete an objective. So I could basically snuff out everybody here.
That's what Susaba is recommending. Is you don't have to worry about finding the right one if you slaughter everyone, but that's not going to get you any silent assassin.
Yeah, that's not going to get me the silent assassin. I'd like to try and get the silent assassin.
It was more that guy at the balcony. Then could you just like whooped him over the edge, and then if it wasn't him, it wasn't him.
I mean, there is that potential, but at the same token, I'm not entirely sure / convinced that they don't actually randomize this one on the start. So it could be this guy over here with this bandage type. It could be the guy with the eye patch. It could be the guy, because in the briefing there was a guy with the bandana.
Yeah, that's true. I was only thinking the balcony guy because no one's around, right? You can just.
There's nobody around, you say.
They're all looking slightly askew.
Yeah.
They won't notice a guy going over the edge.
I don't know how I'm supposed to identify these people now.
My honor.
Because it's hard to identify and eliminate him, and it's like...
I'm not listening or paying attention. But throw a brick. Retro Ted's joining in there.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Retro Ted. Just what I needed advice-wise. He doesn't have a disguise I can use. That disguise isn't going to get me anywhere.
Seaweed therapy is this way, right?
Oh, this might be the... I think this is the story guy.
If it's got its head all wrapped up in bandages, yeah. You
Yeah.
want to look like Helmut?
Yeah.
He looks just like a. In the video, anyway, he was wearing a white robe and a smaller bandage, wasn't he?
Yes. See, I've identified the 3 people who kind of appeared in the video, and...
Yeah, Tsubasa got the reference.
You must find Prince Zuko.
Mr. Director, there you are. I'd like to see when the
My honor.
Right. Apparently that's a reference to something. Don't know what. How's the side quest going, J-Station?
I've been watching the stream. So,
Fair.
very first visit to the Pokemon Center. I do have some very slightly bad news, though.
Which is?
I accidentally put a space before my name, so when you get the transfer, the person who originally owned the Pokemon will be Space J-Station.
I mean, that's not the worst thing in the world.
Not the worst thing. I'm glad this isn't my primary save, though. Oh, it wouldn't be. It would be deleted. I am in Sand Gem Town, and I'm here to buy Pokeballs. Because I realize I actually need one to trade with you, don't I? 'Cause I don't think it'll let me have no Pokemon.
The thing is, you'll be getting my Pokemon.
I don't know if you can just trade what you've got to nothing, if that makes sense. In case you traded me like a, I don't know, something awful, and I was then no longer able to play the game. I think that's the case. So I'm gonna catch another one on the way.
Fair enough. I have no idea.
What is everyone trying to cosplay Pikachu?
It totally is.
You can just imagine him walking up behind this target going, Pika, and pushing him over the edge.
Pikachu.
Do it.
Do it. Whoops.
Non-target kill.
Well, at least we know.
Oh, Assassin's go.
Yeah, apparently somebody noticed that. Oh wait, no, Silent Assassin is no.
Yeah.
No non-targets.
Yeah, okay.
No nonsense.
Let's go back to the replan because I don't know what I'm supposed to do to get any hints on this one.
Walk up to people going, excuse me, are you my target?
The target is arrived at the Gamma facility in Hokkaido for facial reconstruction surgery.
Yeah, huh?
This gives us a window to engage, but the very
Could they still be in the lab?
will make him difficult to identify.
No.
Clients are cooperating to gather information to identify the target, and I will relay this to you as I receive it. Be ready to improvise, however. The clock is ticking 47. Good luck.
Get information as they receive it. So maybe you've got to go do some snooping about before she'll give you some more clues.
Potentially.
Jason Portman is the guy with full head wrap. He's part of the story mission.
Going to the entrance. It might be the one you need.
Welcome to Hokkaido.
Because it's the AI's doing the call out for Jason Portman to go to the entrance, but Jason Portman is the guy who's trying to like Helmut Kruger, and he gets all upset because you look like Helmut Kruger.
But yeah, there's in the actual play through of the game, you've got a very limited window to get to him because you need to take off. You need to subdue him, take his disguise, which is essentially take his bandages off his head, put them on your head, and then sneak through to the rest of the facility because they think that you've got an appointment as Jason Portman.
To you?
So yeah, I just need more information. I just don't know what that information is going to be, or where it's going to be, or when it's going to pop. Yes. Because this is the thing, it doesn't change the level enough that the scripted story elements aren't there. You know, she's still here. She's not actually a target, but she is during the actual play of the mission.
Yeah, we know you had that fun getting her before.
Yes.
Let's do yoga.
Oh, that was so annoying. Pretty sure that's clipped somewhere.
I'm gonna say, I was just thinking, I'm sure that's a clip on the channel.
So I guess I need to trade with a link code, is that right?
Yes, I will message you a link code.
Cool. I am ready to trade.
All right. Okay. In which case, we're just going to put this on pause. Wouldn't usually do this during the stream, but we don't really have that much of a window for J Station to get this done before other business takes over.
It'll probably be Sunday, otherwise.
Yeah, and I kind of don't want to wait until Sunday. So
That's fair enough.
I'm going to...
You could leave it on pause and viewing the thing for any hints, maybe. Or you're worried about things...
I'm worried about missing the hints.
Cool.
It shouldn't take too long once we get in there.
Yeah.
I sent you a code.
I got it. Did you set that yourself?
Yeah, you can do.
Oh, okay.
Basically,
I was like, is that random? That's crazy.
no, you make up any code that you want, and as long as you and somebody else you know have exactly the same code, then
That makes sense.
you will both end up in the same room. There is every chance that you will get invaded, but you just leave and make up a new room code.
Getting through the brief tutorial.
Yeah, it shouldn't take
So I'm
too long.
playing a slight Nuzlocke. I've never played Diamond and Pearl before. It was the first one in the series that I didn't get around to playing. So I still want to catch all the Pokemon. So I'm not doing the only one per route thing. I'm doing one per beach type. But I'm naming them after food and drinks. I'm in a small
Just for
football
the
field.
eventual ending of the Pokemon.
We should be in the same football field as long as things are working. But I don't see you.
I can see like a Nurse Joy or something in there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, one thing... Right. Let me...
I am updated and online.
Yeah. We'll try this a different way, maybe? I'm just trying to become friends with you.
That might be the issue, yeah.
It shouldn't be the issue.
It shouldn't be the issue, but it might be the issue. I don't think I have to accept anything, do I? I think you...
No, because you've sent the invite to me.
Yeah.
I've never done a Nuzlocke, don't care for them. It's one of them where it's like, I've not done a Nuzlocke properly. It's basically just adding another element to the game that, it makes it slightly more difficult. Because one of the things that you can't really say is Pokemon games are difficult.
Same code?
Yes, same code.
Is it active?
I'm going in now. Hopefully.
Okay, cool. Then, now that you're in, I will wait till you're in, and then I'll join. That might have been an issue as well.
The only thing I really know about Pokemon, I found out actually wasn't true, and I was like, no.
What did you think?
What was that?
That there's like a Scottish person, like a Scottish trainer, and then I found out that they're not actually Scottish, they just wear kind of Scottish themed clothing, and I was like, oh.
Alright,
Yeah.
it should be...
I hope you enjoy your time. In he goes.
Yeah, I feel like you get frustrated enough without adding Nuzlocke element in Collateral. Yeah, I mean, to a certain degree... I don't really get frustrated at Pokemon games, though.
Still no sign of you.
Yeah, still no...
I mean, I'm getting frustrated at a Pokemon game now, though.
Yeah, so I'm sort of like...
Oh, trade?
No, that just calls out. That'll...
Did that become available when I did that?
No, it did nothing. Well, let's try one of the different connection methods. Maybe...
I love when you leave the trade room, you exit with a little spiral into the ceiling. So the options we have are, you can enter a room, enter with a group, or with a link code. You can only communicate with people who are in the same group. It seems you haven't joined a group yet.
Yeah.
Well, way to call me up on 11 friends, Pokemon.
How does one make a group?
do not know. I think I can try hosting a room and give it that a go. If that doesn't work, I don't know if it's going to be a worthwhile use of your stream to try and work this out.
Yeah. We do need to clear up the queue for technical difficulties.
So if I host a room, I will use the same code
Right, yeah.
when it asks me. Oh my god, take your time, buddy. Right, here we go.
This was supposed to be something like 5 minutes, jump in, trade, and then JStation goes back to scumming up the rest of them for us. I mean, it's one of them where it's like, I'm not overly fussed, because I'll just sort of like play the game until the rest of them unlock, because can't you get a hold of all of them in the games?
No.
Oh, can you?
No. They are exclusives. They're exclusives and one-offs.
No, I mean the start Pokemon.
Oh yeah, they're all exclusive. They're all one-offs. You
Yeah.
only get the one that you get, and that's it.
Oh, right, okay, so...
They're the rarest Pokemon in the world, apparently, because you can only get the one that the professor has at the start of the game. No, it didn't really work. Come on.
Your internet's working, isn't it?
Well, I'm watching the stream, so...
I mean, on
I'm
your
hoping
Switch, though.
Oh yeah, I updated it just before I started playing via let download. I've created the room.
With the room code.
So, yeah, same code.
Right, okay, let's... What's annoying is how long the room code is. It's like, I just want 2 digits. Maybe a little bit longer than a couple of digits, but at the same token, it's like, do I really need all 8? Does it have to be all 8? And the thing is, as you can possibly tell by all the clicking, it's not just the same number 8 times. I hope you enjoy your time.
We interrupt the stream of mass murder to bring you technical difficulties.
Pokemon technical difficulty.
Yep. It's communicating. Please stand by.
Oh.
And nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, same as me. Well, I will do some research.
Right, you do some research. I'll put that away for now. And
You get on and kill.
get back
Get on
to
with your killing.
my I'm trying to find out who I'm supposed to kill. That's the first problem.
That's never held you back before.
Look, I want to try and do this elusively, okay?
Yeah. Be back in a second.
So come on, Diane, give me the first clue as to who the hell I'm supposed to murder.
You'll be wearing a white yukata.
Diane, I will murder you next. So yeah, it's just a case of wandering around, hopefully. Bum bum bum. Take a picture of the back of his head. Did that help? No. Well. Ba 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 ba. Are you my target?
Oh, the stream. I killed the stream by accident.
Has things gone wrong?
Yeah, stream's not working.
The Discord stream or the stream?
Discord.
Okay. Un momento, por favor. There we go.
Uh-huh.
It does. It's probably while I was mucking around with the whole Pokemon thing.
Evening, sir.
Evening. I'm going to stalk you a little bit. Don't be disconcerted by my appearance or the fact that I'm following you.
Guess what? I found out where our invisible man is. None other than Jason Portman.
Okay, keep this going.
Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
So I was in the upstairs of the Pokemon Center,
Yep.
and you have to be in the downstairs of the Pokemon Center.
I can't get into the downstairs of the Pokemon Center.
I think you have to progress the story before you can get to the downstairs of the Pokemon Center.
Oh.
So I'm going to try and find out where that is. It's the global room. We've been trying to do the local trade, which I thought it was just a phrase, but apparently it does literally mean you have to be local.
Well, that's just silly. I mean, what? See, if this is actually semi-random, I could just keep.
It could be him this time.
I could just keep loading up the game, coming up here, pushing the guy who stands there, and keep pushing them over until it works.
Keep hoping it's that guy. Isn't that the definition of madness? Doing the same thing.
The thing is, I don't know what else to do because Diane's not come through with anything yet.
Is it worth going to the actual surgery? See if we can get some clues, maybe.
I can't get anywhere close.
Get his old face.
Saber saying the 3rd or 4th gym badge is needed?
3rd or 4th? What? On Diamond and Pearl? That's bad news beans.
That is bad news, Beans, because
I ain't doing that.
I'm all in favour of a speedrun to cheese something. So yeah, this way to the surgery, and there's 2 guys there who are not too happy to.
In this version, at least, it's the first gym. I feel like even that might be a bit long though.
I mean,
trespass into the thingamajiggy. The surgery.
Which way do you think?
You know where you push the guy off?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a way near there you can actually climb over and work your way down a drain pipe and work your way around via the helipad. If you go around the back of the helipad, you can come to that window. You remember that window where you were just shooting through and everyone kept running in and you just popped the gun through the window?
There's options. So yeah, I could vault this and go over there and slide down a floor. Maybe. Or 2. And then there's over around there to the helipad. The thing is, I would like, just like a little bit more information from Diana here. Because I've identified 3 guys up here and it's just like nothing. Or I've seen 3 guys. Does that basically mean it's not these 3 guys? Yeah.
Is there...
Is it you?
It might be worth picking one, following, and see if they go somewhere where they're alone enough for you to be able to knock them out.
Alright, and see if they've got ID on them.
Oh my god.
I think the chap you were just following might be that guy. He had his nose and his bandages. The thing is, goes to Sonny, we don't know what he's going to be bandaged up as. So he comes over here, looks at the sushi. First badge.
Yeah, the first badge. I'm currently in a training montage of how to catch Pokemon with me and my 3 Pokemon.
Oh, I do hate them kind of tutorials. Yeah, I mean, to a certain
I've been playing
degree.
this game for 20 years, guy. I know what I'm doing.
To a certain degree, If it is that, depending on how far it is, I might be willing to do the whole grinding for it.
It might be worth seeing if eggs are a thing in this game, because I think they were in red and in gold and silver, which was before this. Which means you can get them much later on by trading eggs.
Yeah, but we're trading eggs with whom?
Each other. Oh, yeah. So we'd have to have at least one different each, wouldn't we? That's a good shout. And then we'd still need to
Is
source the
Chase
third
Station playing another game? Is he cheating on you?
one.
No, we're both playing a different game. Well, we're on and off playing a different game. Basically, the latest Pokemon game, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, came out today, and we're trying to think of a way of scumming it so that we both start
Trying to
with
cheese it.
all 3 starter Pokemon. And the first plan didn't go quite according to plan. I have no idea what any of that means, Saber. Because I've not played it before. So
The
yeah.
third city. Ugh, Saber.
The thing is that the 3rd city or is that the 3rd town?
We can only hope.
Because
it is.
we've already gone to 2.
Yeah. Oh, that's not good news.
But yeah, I could do the cheesing of it if you sort of like. Of course, that would also mean that you'd have to nuke your character and restart sooner rather than later because you already want to ditch your character.
Yeah, that's true.
Did you at least spell my name correctly?
I did.
Or am I not your rival?
Yeah, you're also the rival.
You get to name your little avatar and your rival, and we named each other. So yeah, this guy, he does nothing apart from go over there and look at this and then walk back.
I'm glad you didn't call him Stationary Jay because he is anything but stationary.
I keep mixing that
Poison
up.
that bit. A bit too easy, I guess.
The thing is, if it turns out to be him, then I'm poisoning him. But I don't know who it's supposed to be at the moment. Diana is supposed to be feeding me information.
Yeah, it's been very quiet, very hush about the whole thing. How did you get to the surgery in the past? Was it just by pure brute force?
Well,
Pretty much.
I'm in 2 minds about that, but
I said, I know that you can get the uniform swaps and stuff like that done, and providing you dump the bodies in you don't kill them, but you dump the bodies in like a hiding place. That won't affect your silent assassin.
The problem is he is disappeared. Oh no, he's back. He basically gets up from there, walks over to there, maybe samples some of the sushi, turns around, comes back over, drinks this drink, and then sits back down. When am I supposed to knock him out? I need to
Can you
know.
poison the drink?
It's not necessarily knock him. I'm just thinking if you wanted to poison and stuff like that,
Yeah.
because you can probably still get the fugu poison.
Well, the
Oh, is the
is
Fugu poison on this
lethal.
level?
Yeah, this is a Fugu poison level.
Pretty
Well,
cool.
the thing is, isn't the Fugu poison fatal?
Well, yeah, but you're after killing this guy. If you kill him
Yeah, but I don't
and he's not
want.
the right guy,
The thing is, though, I might as well just keep pushing this guy over the edge and see what happens. If it is random.
is it random? I don't think it was.
I don't know. Diana is supposed to feed me. The thing is, it would make sense that it's random because it doesn't tell you who it is. Because otherwise, you could basically just go around and your elusive target is just kill one random person each time and see which one it is. She's supposed to feed you information on who it is.
I do like the idea of your version of Agent 47 just on the phone being like, Diana! Diana!
Give me
What the hell am I supposed to be doing?
Restart maybe? You might have missed a dialogue that was critical. I've not missed anything. This is the second time that she's not said anything to me. I'm still staring at the screen and I have no idea what you're talking about. Thanks for making me feel old. This is Hitman Retro Tets. I'm supposed to kill people. Do you want the mission briefing again? I'm gonna push this guy over the edge and see if I get it. You might not get the mission briefing. This might just be a success.
To be fair, it'd be amazing if it works.
If it does work, then you need to explore more of the map.
That's what. Yeah, that's what.
Oh,
my,
somebody noticed that.
Instinct would be.
And he didn't die?
It's lucky it wasn't him though, because that would have lost you your.
Well, what's interesting is it's not gone red.
Didn't that happen?
Oh
with
no, there we go.
a target in the past?
It took a while to hit the bottom.
Oh.
He did take a while, didn't he? The thing is, in this, it's all like the briefing.
Good morning.
Retro Ted, you might want to pay attention to this, but
Arrived at the Gamma facility
he's arrived
in Hokkaido
for facial reconstruction surgery.
This gives us a window to engage with the very
It's this scene that makes me think maybe there's a hint here.
to identify. The clients are cooperating to gather information to
The clients are gathering the information to identify the target. I will relay it as I receive it.
improvise, however. The clock is ticking 47. Good
Yeah, it might be a trigger. The further you get in, like the info gets triggered or something.
Yeah, mm.
I'm trying to squeak my way through to the next town to see if it's the right city.
welcome to Hokkaido.
On
Facial
3 HP so far.
Several.
Cross my-
I suggest you locate them and await additional
Yeah, I suggest you locate them and await for additional information.
to examine hospital records to discover more.
You may wish to examine hospital records to discover more. Okay.
Ah, there you go, the records. Sweet.
Right. Open my door. Right.
Murder everyone with 2 arms and you'll be fine. Is that murder them with your 2 arms or murder those who have 2 arms?
How do I get people
One.
in here again?
Why not both?
Hmm.
Was it room service or something? Or
That's a hotel. I'm pretty sure there's something. No, 47. Pretty sure there's something that I can do to get people in here. I just can't remember what it is.
they'll never find me. So I'm in the town after the town that you're in, Karen,
Mm-hmm.
and it is not the town.
Also found out
The thing
bit of
is-
information.
Have you gotten the first badge?
No, well, I've gone to the next town, and that town doesn't have a gym yet. It's going to be the one after, I think.
Oh. I'm sorry, Mike.
Yeah, so you are right. It can be randomized.
Ooh.
There's the 3 people that you've seen. It will be one of them, and there are hints as to where you can find out about the information. One of them, which is kind of easy, but I'm not going to pass it out just yet. It depends on if you get really stuck.
I mean, I'm tempted just to throw that same person off until I get a success. Yeah.
I mean, would you rather I tell you one of the hints for this?
If you can give me a bit of a hint, like how much of a pain in the arse it is to get there.
Well, looking at this, there appears to be a event that occurs in the garden that will give you a hint.
Uh-huh.
I could go into more detail, but I'm trying to keep it somewhat vague for you.
There's an event in the garden.
It's very Cluedo right now.
Hmm.
In the garden with the rake.
See, what's stopping me from just pushing this guy off until it works? Although, I've been spotted both times, haven't I?
Yep. Also, he's not necessarily part of the random selection.
No, he is. He's one of the guys who appears in the...
Go for it.
Target eliminated.
There we go.
The money has been wired to your account.
It's bullshit. I'm taking it as a win.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
This is one of the reasons why I don't like randomness in Hitman. You know, I like the whole predictability of where, you know, trying to figure out where you're supposed to be going, trying to figure out who you need to take out, what disguise you need to get to the critical point to do the thing. It's a puzzle game. You introduce that random element to a puzzle game, and it becomes just a duck shoot as to that wasn't eventful, but that's a problem with it being random and not giving you any hints. Because I'm genuinely a little bit frustrated because it's like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing. It's like, oh, identify the target and eliminate. And it's like, how? How, Diana, am I supposed to do that?
Madka, what were the clues you were going to give, and what were the events that we were supposed to see?
The event in the garden was, you know, Yamazuki, the lady that you tried to kill with yoga.
Yeah.
He meets up with the hospital director, and in this, they actually have something where the hospital director drops hints as to what the mysterious patients come in for.
See,
and it's one of 3 specific things, and that depends on what bandages he's got.
Oh, that's quite cool.
Well, that's quite cool, but at the same token, every other elusive target, the story plot things have not made one jot of difference, so I would never have paid any attention to that conversation.
Yeah. You got a silent assassin.
I got a silent assassin. I got Hokkaido. I got 4 minutes on the clock.
Is there an RNG assassin achievement you can get? You know, don't get me wrong, I'm a little bit disappointed, and to a certain degree this is my own frustrations playing out, because it's like, I like this game because it's like, go here, kill this person, and you can go around and you can find clues as to how to off them in a proper manner. This was just like, yeah, you got a number of targets, guess. And yeah, anyway. So that was that. Silent Assassin, great stuff. I got casual undercover. I feel like you were somewhat screwed out of was it the last one? That you walked across that little ramp and those guys just suddenly were aggro to you for no reason?
Oh, yeah.
I feel that kind of makes up for that.
Yeah, I think that was just me getting sloppy and careless. I just ran too far. I ran too much because it's like, oh, I need to get into this position. So hopefully that's not the end of the season of Elusive Targets. Otherwise, I've just missed out on one. So I've got the only achievement now that I'm after is this Silent Assassin Elusive Target 2. It requires one more where I get it.
Brick.
Admit it, you just Mr. Magooed it. But yeah, I kept on doing it until I got lucky. I don't care. If they're gonna throw out random mechanics without giving you decent hints as to what you're supposed to be doing, I'm just going to Mr. Magoo it. Because fuck it. It got me the Elusive Target, it got me the Silent Assassin. You know, give it another couple of years and nobody will remember the fact, well, I'll probably still remember. Nobody will remember the fact that I just cheesed that one. Oh, if I roll the mouse wheel, I can actually change between the panels. That's kind of useful. I mean, don't know what really to do now. Because I've done... So yeah, it's just actually finding out, because one of the things that I noted here, it's like, the 7 Deadly Sins, Act 7, Wrath. Now, there's 7 Deadly Sins, so this is the 7th act. There's no more acts after that. I don't know...
Maybe they'll start making some others. What's the 8th deadly sin? Cheesing.
Well, back to Pokemon. No, we've figured out Pokemon. We've figured out what we're doing with the whole Pokemon. It's either We're gonna figure out something. I might be the one who ends up having to cheese it until the point that we can trade Pokemon, and I'll just have to keep doing it to get them all.
So far, I've had to get to the next town up. I had to search a town for clowns, and now I have a rival battle against my rival, for which I am very ill prepared. Because I have ran from every location to every location so far.
Oh no, might you have failed? Aren't you... Wait, I'm trying to remember. Aren't you super effective against your rival because he makes a poor choice?
Nah, other way around, I believe.
Oh. I'm trying to remember which one. Yeah, it is.
He's quoting Han Solo.
Where to go, what to do.
You could go with the prey.
I could go over to Prey, but I don't know. I mean, I don't like switching streams halfway through. Eighth sin is hacks, yeah. Game modes. Contracts. Wasn't there something about contracts and doing the contracts gets me things? Contract search. No, didn't want to search back. Feature contracts.
Who's the guy with the mustache?
I don't know. Don Yates is a man of perfection and will stop at nothing to reach it, not even murder. When Don Yates learned that two of his employees deliberately tried to sabotage the latest batch of his famous Cabernet Sauvignon, maybe?
Cabernet Sauvignon.
Sauvignon. It's French, I can't speak English. Get over it. He has to show them that he does not play games. Of course, Don Yates cannot get blood on his own hands. Instead, it's up to you to take care of him. This contract was created by a member of the Hitman community known as IOI. Interactive Online... No.
Interactivity.
No, IO Interactive, isn't it? Yeah, IO Interactive. And IO stands for in-out. Which is a computer term.
Doesn't stand for design your Hitman level. That's a pretty cool idea.
Design the own Hitman level. I mean, I'm not very good at that because I'm just too trigger happy. It's like, alright, you know, let's make this as awkward as possible for anybody else doing it. I'm just going to get a sniper rifle and pop that guy's head, that guy's head, that guy's head, and that guy's head from just some obscure location on the map. And then it's sort of like one of them Zen garden things. It's like, where the hell am I supposed to be able to see all of these people from?
What?
Okay, so gotta kill this guy with a falling object accident wearing the suit. And this guy with a thrown grape knife wearing the suit. Both of them are optional. If you change your disguise at any point, you will fail immediately. Okay, so it is...
Not so much optional.
Yeah.
It's optional, except for when it isn't.
I mean, we're off to...
We'll start as the clown.
Stick as the clown for the whole thing.
You want to go as a clown?
We get to work on that going, there's something funny about this day, eh?
But, Tish, I will murder everybody. Explosives. Because explosives are funny. Napoleon blown apart. Let's smuggle some of that in. Coins, concealed weapon, go.
I like the cravat.
Oh, hell's a cravat? Oh, the cravat's a necktie thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I only know that because of the thanks to the ghost of Sonny. Because they once played a Starfinder character who had a cravat.
Called Sonny. What happened to them, I wonder?
Was it
Any
Sonny
spoilers?
who had the cravat?
Yeah, it's a Stella cravat, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, but I thought that was actually now a failed attempt at playing of Dawn of Flame. Or did Ghost of Sun
No,
pick
'cause-
one up anyway?
Sonny was a Solarian, so I think they got the. I think so. I might have been wrong. Maybe
Yes.
it was a Dawn of Flame exclusive.
Oh, wait. I need to... Who am I supposed to be killing? Those two guys. Okay. I mean, this might be a little bit difficult trying to get all the way down there in this disguise. And it's not just the fact that it's this disguise. Oh, mate, I'm just borrowing your
It's
invitation.
Just the red wig.
You think the wig gives it away? I mean, what about the nose?
Oh, you just got a cold, that's all.
The stripy socks? The overly large shoes?
There's no account.
Yeah,
for
this
taste.
guy who just... I will enjoy the party. I'm sure somebody just said that hair is spot on.
They did. It's the latest fashions in France.
I don't think we're in France.
No, that's where fashions come from, right?
What?
And that's where fashions come from. People drink wine.
Oh, I don't know.
It's my knowledge of France. Glam would be seen dead in brown corded trousers. An obvious fake. They appear to be an assassin brown. Dead giveaway.
Paul, no idea how I'm supposed to pronounce it. Pignon Noir?
Pinot Noir?
What he said. I suppose at some point I should pick up these barcodes.
I used to work in a bar in a cinema, up near Liverpool way, and I remember somebody coming in and asking for a pint. Can I have a pint of Pinto, please?
And your reply was...
Do you mean the Pinot Noir, sir?
So this is one of them. I don't know which one this is. Look, lady, I could really do with you going away because I want to jump this fence, snuff out that guy over there.
Right, defeated the rival.
That's where she's looking at you going, oh, there's a clown, something funny's going to happen.
Yeah, it would be fucking hilarious. Blended and just burst out crying. That's what clowns are supposed to do. Can I have a latte? I have no idea what a latte is. Okay.
Is a latte? Be our last.
Okay, so I am trespassing here.
Is our last a Scouse exclusive phrase? Does anybody know that phrase?
I have no idea. I don't even think you're speaking English right now.
It
Oh,
must
yes,
be
it's Scouse.
it must be a specific Scouse thing. Don't be our last.
Nope, no idea what he's saying.
Means don't be mean.
I'm not being mean, I'm just choking this woman out. I could really have done with you being a guy, though.
Rude.
I'm not allowed to wear women's clothes. This game is so sexist.
You're also not allowed to change clothes.
Oh, shit, yeah. Thanks for reminding me.
Just taking them out for the
Just
fun
put
of
that
it.
one out there before you kill someone and go, I'm going to nick your clothes, and then wonder why the mission failed.
Yep. There's something over there. Is that? No, that's a brick. Bricks aren't lethal, are they?
You like my brick.
I love my
Why is
brick.
this table?
You can knock it over to someone spilling wine on their t-shirt.
Brick non-lethal. No, still can't pronounce it.
Pinot Noir.
Pinot Noir.
There you go. There's a song about it called Pinot Noir.
bricks don't kill people, bad builders do. Right, so I'm supposed to kill him with
No. Motherfucker.
rape knife. Merchants. It's a faucet. That's a faucet. I turn that one on. There's probably more shares. Oh, no, that'll be a faucet. And that'll be a faucet. Do dee do dee do 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 dee do dee do. I nearly ran.
We started singing. We're all doomed.
Yeah, I've been detected. All right. Well, so much for Silent Assassin and doing this flawlessly.
Wait, you were trying to do this flawlessly?
Yes. Why do you think
As
I
a
was
clown?
looking for the weapon that I was supposed to be using? They'll never spot me in here.
I saw him running past that big red flower.
What was the other target?
Can we sprint through here? Does not look like it. Nope, there we go. Hey, you've got Pokemon. Do you want to fight? No, I want to get to the next town.
Do dee do dee do 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 dee do dee do dee do dee do 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 dee do dee do dee do do. Oh, people will notice that. Put it down. Staff only. Oh, he's right there. Oh no. Do it silently. 47. We have some modicum of class.
Walking past over the dead bodies.
I know, a body's been found. Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. Killing through. Oh, that was a bad corner to take. Oh no. Guys, things have gone pear-shaped.
Oh, watch out for those guys.
I've actually managed to evade them. Look, I really need you guys to get out of my way.
It's a wild Zubat, everyone's favorite Pokemon. The rarest of the rare.
So that was part one of an escalation, I believe. Oh no, this was a contract, wasn't it?
Oh, we're in the city. Apparently I'm a noob. I'm getting showed where the gym is. Oh. Chirones are there. Oh, he's not even at the gym. The gym leader's away somewhere. Oh, what?
You might want to restart your game and put in your name proper.
What I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to cheese this all the way to the point when we can trade. Trade you this grassy Pokemons, and then I'm going to choose the fire as my starter. So between the three of us, we will have all three, and then when we get to egg time, we will be able to have one of each.
Is there eggs in it? Has that been confirmed?
It has not been confirmed. I'm putting down the switch and cracking out, Google.
Yeah, confirm that bit, because if that doesn't happen, then... Because to a certain degree, you can cheese it up to there, pass me that Pokemon. I can then pass you my 2 Pokemon. You then restart, choose your 3rd. Cheese it to that point. I will then pass you my 2, and then I'll do the rest of the legwork.
I mean, if you want it, it's a lot of cheesing though. It's not a short thing each run.
I got 2 weeks off work. I got plenty of time.
If you want to, like, I would be more than happy to receive some fun Pokemons, but
Well, it depends on if the eggs work or not. Because if the eggs work, then there's no point in cheesing it. We'll just have to do the eggs later in the game. But if we can't do the eggs because they don't exist, then I'll cheese it.
the eggs do appear to be in it.
Right.
Yes, this is a guide to get them to hatch the fastest way, so I'm guessing that means they're in it.
Yeah.
So, Diamond Pearl.
Right. Out of
Starter, X.
contracts. There we go. Feature contracts. I've literally just done this. I don't remember. Dubai. Have the angry golfer.
You need to do the horrible ditto breeding as well to get the eggs for the starters. Ditto breeds with everything.
But doesn't give you dittos unless you breed
Nope.
2 dittos.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know if I've ever bred dittos before.
Okay. Oh, avoid collateral damage by only eliminating your targets. Do not change your disguise at any point. Only one exit is active. And there are 4 people who need to die by explosives. I don't think I can carry in that much explosives. Nightcat, I might need you to look at where explosives are in Dubai.
Okie dokie. But it is.
Maybe don't put that straight into Google.
No, it's fine. We're way past the point of being on government watch lists. You know, it's kind of like the Pokemon at the moment. You've got to catch them all.
So I'm gonna get this Turtwig traded to you, and then we'll have all 3 of them in the system. So then we can just do eggs.
Did you want to start with the fire Pokemon?
I didn't. I bothered.
You didn't, but you're not bothered. Fair enough. Okay, so we got Napoleon blown apart. We've got a pale duck, and we got a frag grenade in the kitchen somewhere. Let's go for the Futo suit. Wait, am I allowed to change disguises? I didn't think I was allowed to change disguises.
No, you're not.
So I needed to have started in the event staff. Disguise.
Oh well.
Yep.
Too late to left now.
I'm a ninja.
Like a ninja. In the very first time.
I mean, one of the problems is very rapidly I am going to run out of places I can be as a civilian.
Going to join Batman on his crusade.
Or Zorro.
Oh, sorry. Leaves a 4 and a 7 cut into the surface with his blade.
Hello, I'm not allowed to be back here, don't mind me. How if they didn't trigger, you know, any kind of warning there.
I think if they told anyone, no one would believe it.
They're security, they're supposed to believe their own bullshit.
Using defense curl, are we, Geodude? We'll see about that.
So yeah, very rapidly found places I'm not allowed to be. Wait.
And it'd be far too easy if the target were to come into civilian areas.
No, that's only an optional. Don't mind me, don't mind me, don't mind me.
Wee wee wee.
Cheese it, cheese it, cheese it. Jump it, jump it. There we go. I'm pretty sure one of my
Like a
targets.
true ninja. It's actually quite a decent version of a hard mode trying to just run through Pokemon, because some of the fights do get quite difficult quite quickly.
Wait, there was no kaboom. Oh, there's a kaboom.
There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom.
I thought I didn't realize it was a remote triggered Napoleon Dynamite. Right. Sorry, it's a bit of a challenge doing what? Cheesing it? Or doing it as quickly as
Yeah.
possible?
Doing it as quickly as possible, because I've not got, like, they're not leveled up, they're not in any way, they're barely healed half the time, as I'm just running from location to location.
Yeah, I did think to a certain one of the things about it is it very much does encourage grinding. And not just encourage grinding, but it's all like it's expected.
Yeah, it's kind of core mechanism.
Yeah, but to the same token, you know, it's like you could try to speedrun the entire game if you wanted an extra level of danger and difficulty. It's just like, nope, no grinding, no doubling back unless absolutely necessary.
Speedrun Nuzlocke, the shortest run in history. Be lucky if you made it to the first town.
Oh, excuse me? Oh, shit.
Body found. Who spotted it?
I could have got a 2 for 1. No. Right, I need more explosives. Where did I smuggle things in? Where did I smuggle things in? Something to do with a kitchen? Oh, wait, no. What do you mean? Oh, it's all the way down there. I need to go back downstairs. Don't mind me, folks.
Right, you've got to be the person I'm looking for, right?
Huh?
Yeah, here we go.
Don't mind me, don't mind me, don't mind me, don't mind me. Ah! Don't mind me, don't mind me, don't mind me, don't mind me.
You've lost the silent assassin, by the way.
Yeah, I totally lost the silent assassin. I mean, I kind of lost this. Wait. This has gone a bit pear-shaped.
Dodge them bullets. Use your matrix skills. Oh, that's not good.
What's not good?
I was trying to find somebody, and I found them and started chatting to them, and I started watching the stream, and I looked up and they were no longer there. They've gone somewhere. I do not know where that is. Let's assume they've gone back to the gym.
Aha. Didn't I throw explosives at 2 people?
I think so, yeah.
So why is one of them not dead?
Just very, very badly wounded.
As I was running then, it was like, wait a minute. Haha,
Were
you
they
can't see
2
me.
people that you were supposed to kill?
Yes. I'm pretty
It's
sure.
a good point. Did you throw it closer to people? Yes. Were they the people you were supposed to throw it at? Maybe.
Because I've only just got the only eliminate targets failed objective. Wow, there's a lot of people looking for me.
The ninja throwing bombs in the important hotel.
Changing disguise is optional. Or not changing disguise is optional.
I thought it wasn't optional.
No, it might have not been optional on the other mission, but this one it's optional.
Is the optional stuff just for more XP?
Yes, and it's all it's. Oh, you weren't supposed to pop round that corner. Look, sleep.
Sweet. Good news is, you can go straight to the gym leader. You don't have to fight all the noobs.
Bad news is you needed the XP from killing the noobs.
Let's find out.
Right, okay, so. But yeah, the changing disguise in this one is optional, and it's not always optional. Right. Oh wait, no, I was heading downwards for my I've got frag grenades. I'm gonna try and at least do the explosive part of this mission correctly. Although, is there explosives available on this mission?
I should have a look. 1 second. Need to...
What do you mean you're suspicious? You peasant.
You've never seen that guy run before. No one runs in Dubai.
Dubai, I mean, if you're running in Dubai, it means you don't have enough money.
Yeah.
Right, there's a kitchen on a floor. It's this floor. Okay.
Stuff off. Let's have a look for explosives.
Excuse me.
And potential watch list action. Woo. I think it's okay as long as I preface stuff with Hitman and then game.
If you were just going to preface it with Hitman.
Yeah.
Hitman game brackets not real.
Right, okay, I've got a grenade now. I'm still 3 targets. Right, let's go back up this way. Na 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 na, you can't stop me.
Is that you done, bud? Nope, one more to
Perhaps
go.
if I hit half the unlucky, does that just mean that I get to search without the warrant going after me?
It depends. It's either they give you the results that you want straight away, or they just send the police after you without giving you results. Depends. Do you feel lucky?
Damn.
Look, just... Why don't you like me? I mean, I'm a good guy. See, it's this person that I threw the grenade at. They even dropped the janitorial key. Right.
Well, this isn't going well.
Apparently there's an explosive golf ball.
Okay.
Can
Is
you
that
hit it
it?
with a golf club?
No, you try and get them to hit it with the golf club.
Ah.
Right. Okay, you're not gonna get explosive, but you are gonna make an entrance. Enjoy!
So yeah, there is an explosive golf ball in a locked storage room. End
Where...
of maintenance corridor, level 3.
Right. I'm on level 3 and I'm at the maintenance, at the end of the maintenance corridor.
Right, so there should be a locked storage room.
Well, that was locked. I had a key. So you're saying that there should be a storage. Ah, explosive golf ball.
Right, yes.
Right, okay. So there's 1 target left. The other guy took a swan dive where you really shouldn't be diving. We're just gonna find this last person and lob a golf ball at their head and see how that goes. I need more altitude.
Don't forget to yell on your head as you throw it at them.
Really?
4.
Oh, you moving a body? Yeah, you're moving a body, aren't you? Oh, no, he's taking it down that way. Okay, great stuff.
I was walking around on Hitman a while back, basically just killing everyone for fun of it. But I was trying to leave the guards till last because then I wanted to see how big of a body bag pile they would make.
How'd that go?
Not too bad. The problem is some guards have, like, depending on where they're patrolling, depends on where their body bag location is. So it's a case of when I noticed that they were doing it in the wrong place, I'd have to try and, like, jump the bodies closer to the other way.
Yeah. Open the window. Take me up a floor. Take me up. How does one use this?
The electricity thing seemed to be the...
Do you not go over the edge and go down the pipe?
I don't want to go down. I want to go up.
Oh, okay.
We might be
Can
at
you
the
climb up?
top of its limits. Oh, Jesus Christ, 47. Jump to ledge. Oh, that one. Yeah, I don't think I want to be out here. I don't think this is useful. I want to go up a level, but the door, these stairs are locked. And apparently, I need a key card to get through there. Or a crowbar.
Can you not shoot the lock off?
Can I shoot locks in this?
You can shoot some locks. Oh, I meant on the door.
No, didn't help.
So I went crunching through the gym leader's Pokemon, apart from the last one, which apparently is a sweeper, and wiped out my entire party.
You have to shoot it a lot to get it open. Oh, please don't tell me they put a security door on both sides of this. Oh no. Right. Golf ball. Hello.
Oof. Jeez.
Goodbye.
They're out of here.
What do you mean, whoa? I mean, I walked in there and there was an explosion. Right, there's only one exit available, and I don't know where it is. Down there a little bit. Okay. What was that pickup? Oh, the number that I dropped.
Oh.
Oh, it's down. More down. Lots of down. Any more down? More down. You gonna allow me to drop from this height? No, you're not. Guess I'll use the
Those couple of extra
stairs.
feet that you've got will just stop the sprained ankles at the bottom.
Hello, sir.
I mean, it wasn't really all that far. It was just from up there
Upstairs, that is the point.
to down. Oh, wait.
What's that woman doing?
Which woman? Oh, she doesn't obey the laws of physics. Not if she
When you
obeys the laws of physics when she panics either.
When you truly know how
She is really not phased by things. Oh, well, that phased her. Go on, run, woman, run! Nope, nope. There we go. Physics
full
came
on
in.
breakout.
Like, get down is a way of making her obey laws of physics.
And we're out of here.
Another silent assassin ticked on.
Look, these don't count for the silent assassin stuff.
So why aren't you using bricks?
I haven't found a brick.
You just not looked hard enough.
Plus,
There's
well,
always a brick.
Nitro Freak. Okay. Don't think I've had that title in a while.
Makes me want to do a custom assassination one where you just got to kill all the targets by throwing bricks at them, but then you can't kill them with bricks, can you?
Nope.
Bob, you've got to kill Bob the Builder, but you can only get to him. You can only kill him with a brick.
Screwdriver.
Hammer, brick, screwdriver. You can only use tools of the trade.
Horns out. Oh, I'm guessing poison injection, unicorn horn, and fallen object. No dead or unconscious bodies may be found. This does not include victims of accidents or poisoning.
It's the same as Silent Assassin, right?
Yeah. Apart from, more often than not, you just need to kill one person. Good afternoon, 47. We have been informed that the targets have been conspiring to eliminate the Carlyle family in an attempt to make a quick payday. I believe it is time to demonstrate exactly why this is no job for amateurs. Because we kill the amateurs? Right. So injected poison is one of them that needs to go. Unicorn Harmer and get from inside, and falling object is inside. Although they're all optional. Wear any disguise. Okay. Let's do this thing. Two, three, four. Give it up. 2, 3, 4.
Got the Ashley look going.
I will never stop hating that statement.
Yeah, help!
Agent 47, over here.
I don't get why they're all suspicious of you.
Because I shouldn't be allowed on the grounds.
It's only Dartmoor.
It's only Dartmoor. Everyone's allowed in Dartmoor. There is something out on the moors.
Do. Oh God, you as well. Did I bring? No, I didn't bring coins. Shoot. I could really do with you turning around. No, you're gonna spot me.
Oh my god, please stop doing that!
I stopped doing it.
Just on it.
Please
Yeah.
stop doing it.
It didn't fail the mission though.
I'm just gonna move him over here. It's
Oh,
fine.
that was mandatory. No, it's only an optional complication. Okay.
He's so sleepy.
Apparently I'm a psycho. I knocked one guy out, and apparently that's enough to make you a psycho.
You brutally murder one guy and you get a reputation.
Look, he's not dead. He's unconscious. Slight difference. Alright, that's one witness out of the way.
Righty, attempt number 2.
I mean, I don't have to worry about it. What? Why are you coming over here?
Anyone help me!
Oh,
You can see the feats.
ooh. I winged it. I winged it. Ship reload. Ship reload. There we go. Okay.
Oh, I mean, she ruined that for herself, really.
You do not stop warning, woman.
It's the one thing I don't really get with that games like this, where you've put 2 bullets either side of her head and she had no reaction to it. From having played Airsoft, having an Airsoft round sail past my ear and whistle as it did so, them bullets definitely would have made a noise, and she would have been like, huh? You know, she was just like, I'm just going to stand here as, 2 lumps of metal sail past either ear, and then between them. But she probably didn't notice that last one.
I'm in the middle of an animation.
I just like the way that you slightly hit them and they just stop dead in their tracks. It's... Because that was the thing, it's like I got a thump of a... nearly hit somebody but didn't kill them. Right. Now I am perfectly in disguise.
And no one knows a thing.
No one alive knows a thing.
The important part.
Yep. Alright, so one's a lethal syringe, which I brought with me. One's a unicorn horn.
Hold on, have I seen you before somewhere?
No. You got a problem with me?
You, mister.
What? What are you warning me about?
Your final warning.
What are you warning me about?
You're not allowed to take unicorn horns off the property.
What? You brought this on yourself, okay? Ah, shit. More people shooting at me. God damn it, people!
Why did you want this disguise?
So that it's pretty much flawless. You can walk around the entire mansion. Oh,
Yep, absolutely flawless.
yep.
Absolutely.
I just didn't know that they get very disgruntled at the fact that I broke the unicorn statue, okay?
You also
Look,
get
these
a
people
nice
like
hat out of it.
unicorns, alright?
Look, somebody's shooting at me and I don't know who. Ah, you little bastard. Drop down, 47. Run, 47. Die,
Just a regular
47.
Friday night shootout.
No, I need to replan this. I need my coins. Planning, smuggle in, go to the deliveries and smuggle in that poison. And then bring back my coins.
Bring back my coins.
How's Pokemon going?
I'm fighting the gym leader. I made a mess of the first Pokemon this time rather than the last Pokemon. But we're back onto the last one, so we'll see whether or not I'm in a position to beat it.
No, I'm glad that we've kick-started your Friday night, Ghost of Sunny.
Gotta be lucky for this one. Yes, that's right. That's right. 4. My Pokemon are the greatest.
I need you to come over this way, but... Actually, I realised that I could just run over there and knock him out, couldn't I? You're an unconscious witness. But you should be fine in the bushes. But then again, I'm going to have that... Oh, just die. There we go, I'm concealed again. I want you to come over here.
Yeah, as a detective, it's my job to investigate strange noises.
Thumbs up, mate.
The TMs break when you use them in this game. One of the best features of Sword and Shield was you could constantly reuse HMs and TMs.
Hmm. Do both of them break or just the TMs?
I think the HMs you could always use again and again, just the TMs. So you have to know if you're going to invest in this Pokemon for a long time, which is particularly awkward on Nuzlocke because you can forever lose a move.
I've never actually used a TM or a HM.
You genuinely know.
No.
You just collected them all.
I collected as many as I could. Oh, you're gonna have me frisked.
Right, so I'm in the basement. Tila, you glide to the Global Pokemon Club. Here we go.
Right, okay. So you need to get that far to get global.
Yeah. There are some places, such as inside buildings, where you can't use it. Would you like to hear a more detailed explanation? No. Hope you enjoy the global room.
You can frisk me, it's fine.
Cool. So I shall leave Pokemon there, as we have arrived.
Shoots man throws a gun to Sunny. Think fast, please, before the police shows up. So they suspect Sunny instead.
X and Y didn't have TN's breaking. I didn't realise that. I did start an X and Y play, but I never got around to properly completing it.
Mr. Whitmer, thank you for coming on such short notice. A great tragedy has fallen upon us, and I need a quick resolution, handled with absolute discretion.
Results and discretion are my speciality.
Very well.
Shoots her in the face.
Suppose you will want to start at the crime scene.
In my
I don't actually have a gun at the moment.
a thorough potential
Coin to the face.
is half the job done.
Good. Fernsby will take over from here.
I am Mr. Fernsby, the butler. Madam Carlyle has asked me to assist you in any way possible. Mr. Whitmer, I understand that you've travelled from London. Would you care for some refreshments? Or do you prefer to go straight to Mr. Zachary's sleeping quarters?
I will get some refreshments. And my gun. Now I have a gun.
I feel refreshed already.
Also,
I tried speaking to him, but he ran out of the room and jumped out of a window.
Most peculiar
Rather
behavior.
refreshed.
They say he's the best of the best. So it took about 1 hour 45 to get to that gym
Kind of speed run.
with not knowing what I'm doing and not knowing what was up next. I think you could probably get it down to an hour
Yeah.
by really pushing it. The only tough thing is the fights. Because I lost the rival battle the first time and I thought, oh, it's going to tell me that I've lost and then, we'll nope, gotta go fight him again. So you have to actually win the fights.
Yeah. Right, okay. Who are you? You're the photographer. Which is this? So you need to be injected. Which I have not yet picked up yet. I thought I picked everything up in this area. But yeah, I'll see how it feels to a certain degree. Oh yeah, I can't carry that around. Because now that we know the eggs are a thing, then we only need... And you want to restart your game anyway because of the naming thing. So as long as I get up to that point and grab whichever Pokemon you've already done.
It's the Turtwig.
The Turtwig. And then you trade that to me, and then we'll all have all three in the game. And then we can rely on eggs.
You'll have 2 and I'll have the other one, yeah.
Yeah, I'm using the Royal Wii.
If you didn't mind doing a run through, I wouldn't be madly opposed to not having the fire Pokemon as my main one, the starter. But other than that, it's a preference, not a requirement.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain degree, it's... I don't mind doing all 6 of them to a certain degree. It's just more trying to figure out when to find time to do that, and well, I need you to die, okay? Look, really? Jesus Christ, there's a lot of security around here. Ow, ow, ow. Duck 47, duck, weave, Keep moving.
Swan, goose. I do love that they give you the gunshot heard when the only person to have heard it would have been the guy whose, ear it went in.
I mean, somebody else might have heard the splatter.
There are some polls for least favorite starter, and I was wondering what the least favorite was in this region.
The thing is, I cannot for polls. Because I think I chose the least favourite starter in Shield.
Ah, Turtwig is the least favorite. I thought Turtwig looked pretty cool. They're in Pokemon Snap a lot as well.
Which was the most popular?
Oh no, wait, hold on. This is someone's personal opinion. This isn't a poll. This means nothing.
It's no more valid than Saber's opinion, who hates Chimchar. Or dislikes Chimchar.
See, I thought Chimchar, in my head, they do have that feel of like most disliked. I was wondering if I could find out if that was accurate. I hope so. There's a few people have got involved in this one. So.
Oh, the guy runs out. He's like, "Wait, my friend's dead."
The most liked of. This is an awkward system to read. Okay, so the most liked of this generation is Turtwig, apparently, despite what the other guy said. Followed by Chimchar, followed by Piplup, who's got minus score, which is quite surprising. And the number one favourites from Grass, Fire and Water across all of the series is Bulbasaur is number 1, Cyndaquil is number 2, and Squirtle is number 3. So it's still the old school gen, still rocking it.
I think to a certain degree, the old school, the original gen was sort of like just so many people have played it and formed an opinion.
Yeah.
And then, they're very much so like, oh yeah, the original is the best kind of attitude. Because you do get that in a fair number of situations where it's like people will proclaim that absolutely 100% the original is always the best. You have seen me.
I still have warm feelings for Gold and Silver. Enjoyed that a lot. Playing them on the actual Game Boy.
I feel like an old fart. I've never played a Pokemon game, so I'm like, you mentioning all these names, and I'm just like, yeah, that means nothing.
That's one of those.
You mentioned Chimchar, and all I can think of is the bloody dancing chimney sweeps from Mary Poppins.
Chim. To a degree, it is also that it's a similar experience I have when you guys talk about guns.
To be fair, I'm the same with guns and a little bit on Pokemon. It's only really Pokemon
Everyone's somewhere in the middle.
Go, which is it's only really Pokemon Go that kind of got me into Pokemon at all.
How was that like your first bridge into it?
Yeah. And that was mainly because it was sort of like hanging around with people who were into Pokemon Go while on dinner break in work. And everybody's running around catching Pokemon, and it's like, well, I'm not going to sit in the canteen on my own. Might as well go for a walk with these guys, and it's like, right, what's this Pokemon malarkey about?
I still can't believe the impact of that game. Like, the sheer scope of it. Getting round nearby where I live, in my work in particular, hundreds of people out and about, just chatting to each other, like people who'd never spoken to each other before. It was like a bizarre... It was like a utopia had been born with people searching for Pokemon. It was so weird.
The thing is, I think the weirdest thing for me in the whole incident is the fact that it became more popular than porn for a moment.
Then Rule 34 happened and people had best of both worlds.
I mean, I think Rule 34 of Pokemon happened way before Go.
Probably.
We just don't
think there was a walking around app for that though.
But at least not outside.
But yeah, no, it did. It was a interesting social experiment in terms of who got involved and how everything went down, as it were.
Yeah.
What do you mean it's restricted? Don't you see this? It's a fist to your face. Does that say it's restricted to you? No, it doesn't.
That was a face of pure terror he pulled as he fell backwards then.
Where the fuck are they running? Oh, they're trying
That
to
way.
protect her, I guess. Look,
After that, this is the chance they've been waiting for.
look, you
Take her
need
out.
a unit. Shit! Missed!
Traction
What are the-
unicorn horn.
There's a joke in there about what are the chances of that and unicorns, but it's in there somewhere.
Look, where'd the fucking unicorn horn? There it is. Right, I can still get it with the unicorn horn. I just need to take care of the distractions.
If someone just joined in now and saw you dressed as ye old detective and saying, "Where the fuck is the unicorn?" What game is this, sir?
Just an average day in Dartmoor.
Expelliarmus.
I mean, you say Gen 1 was an exploitable broken mess, say, but one of the things is, it's actually really impressive what they were able to do with the original Pokemon game.
I've never heard anyone describe Gen 1 as flawless, though, as well. Like, I know people like it a lot, but no one's ever had the audacity to say to me that it's flawless, because it's a Game Boy game. It's far from flawless. But as you say, yeah, it was a remarkable technical achievement.
Just the amount of content they managed to get onto the Game Boy card. That was vicious, the 47. Right in the freaking neck. Look,
You mean the rest of what 47 does isn't vicious?
He's usually quite
Well, that
caring
guy's not
and
even
kind.
dead. You just put holes in him and he's falling down the stairs.
Right, I'm supposed to drop something on this guy, but... Wait, which one's it? There it is. Look, you need to protect your target thingy. Ah, shit. Hide behind this.
Grenade.
You're not very good at this, are you?
He was better.
He was! Oh, yeah. Bye. You are...
Like, she was trying to stop you for a moment there, like, excuse me.
Okay. Now I just need to locate an exit.
It's like, oh, terribly sorry. Shall I put the kettle on?
Oh, I can't yeet this far enough. This is just funny. Bust! Dead. Oh, shit. Pull out the gun.
You're gonna do something? I just killed a guy with a unicorn horn, buddy. You got no idea. I'm off the fucking chain.
Making my way to the exit.
Maybe you must have encountered some hardcore Poke fans. But I guess there are hardcore fans for everything out there, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of them. And the thing is, it's not just the game, I suppose, that they're a big fan of, because there's the original Pokemon series and card game, as well as.
Oh, the card game. Yeah. You know Nintendo was originally a card... They made collectible cards before they made games.
Yeah. They're one of the oldest companies in the world.
Yeah.
Run first, then scream.
I remember reading something like... I don't think it was someone someone who you think about being very, very old. Could have bought a Nintendo product. I can't remember who it was. I want to say Abraham Lincoln, but that seems ridiculous.
Look, you behind me? I don't like that.
No, I think he...
Yeah, my friend actually sent something to me one sec.
It might be the same thing that I saw.
Dracula was written in 1897. Due to the year it takes place, Count Dracula could have theoretically worn Levi jeans, consumed Coca-Cola, and owned a Nintendo product.
that was the one that I found, that I'd read. There's loads of good stuff in there actually for that.
Shit.
Nah. Case closed.
That was flawless.
There's something about samurais and making phone calls. Or ninjas.
Yeah, like the last registered samurai, and then we've all just been marketed the same material.
It was a samurai who could have called somebody up.
That might be Abraham Lincoln, maybe.
I don't know. I'm not very good with dates at all. Because I've read it and it's like, samurai was officially disbanded in such a year, a telephone was invented in such a year, and somebody or other was alive at the time, and it's like, so in theory, a samurai could have called somebody or other.
Foolish samurai.
I'm done with everybody's shit right now.
Just run in. Preferably shoot them before they shoot you, kind of thing. But
I'm working on it.
That's some mad game theory you put in there, Mad Cat. Shoot them before they shoot you. Nonsense is this?
Oh, he's not dead. Did you just die? Thank you. Shouldn't have opened that door, mate.
I do love how quickly these devolve into just kill everyone challenges.
This isn't kill everybody. I'm mainly gunning. You are a lucky son of a bitch. Oh, I need more guns.
Well, there's plenty around you.
This isn't a kill everyone challenge. Wait, I need more guns.
Oh, piss off. No, I needed more ammo.
Not even Ashley Sweater could save you.
And I just want to go in, kill the people I need, and get out. If that involves everybody, then that involves everybody. If it doesn't involve everybody, then so be it. But I think these punks on the front gate walked up behind me. Yeah.
Hey, you got a disguise.
Now, Agent 47, switch back to the decent gun. I mean, I've got multiple disguises. Apparently somebody's searching for me. Yoo-hoo. Where are that windows?
Well, you should have taken the disguise of one of the guards from the front gate and just gone on the storyline that he'd just gone crazy and had enough of this place.
I love the way that because he didn't actually make it through the gate, she's not moved. Oh wow, and you really don't care.
Actually, in Urban Dictionary, a Gen 1er. So I consider myself a Gen 1er. It's my favorite generation, but I've played almost all of them now. I've still not played Black and White, which are meant to be very good story-wise, or at least they have a stronger narrative that has a sequel.
Wasn't that the Peter Molyneux game where you had the giant animals as well?
Oh, that was actual Black and White, yeah, not Pokemon Black and White.
Yeah.
That was a great game.
It was
you had
a
these giant pet, and you play the guard, and
it was an okay game.
I quite liked it. It had a song about needing wood to build a boat.
Those guys were so fucking annoying.
Stuck in my head. I don't know how many years ago it was I played that game. It must be 15, 20 years ago I played that game, and it's still in my head.
I think one of the problems with Black and White was the fact that it was... Black and White was one of them games where I was still paying attention to hype.
This is pre my concept of hype, I think.
And Peter Molyneux was the master of hype. And he still was up until a few years ago, and still might be up to those kind of antics. But the thing is, he is so mind-bogglingly self-confident. Really? What are you shooting at? When he first made a game, it was back before publishing and video games were in stores and the like. And what would essentially happen for independent is you would basically go to a gaming magazine or some kind of computer magazine, because they weren't really specialized in gaming, and take out an ad which would have a PO box or your own address on there or something, and you know they'd mail in orders and you'd email out discs or the code, either or. And Peter Molyneux was so convinced that his first video game ever was going to get so many sales that the day before the magazine went on publication, he was lying in bed and thinking, oh god, what happens if the postman can't fit all the letters through the letterbox? So in the middle of the night, he wakes up and saws a bigger letterbox.
Did you need it?
No.
Turns out it needs to be bigger.
He got 2 orders for the game. One was he suspects from his mother, and the other was just some random guy on, out there in the world. But that didn't let him. That didn't stop him. Oh no! He then went on to, he worked for Bullfrog for a while. And I think at Bullfrog, I'll give Peter Molyneux his due. He's very creative and he's good at what he does, as long as he doesn't hype himself up. Or hype up what he's working on in any way, shape or form. The problem is, when he was working for Bullfrog, he'd be involved in the game design and the rest of it, but he wouldn't really talk to the press too much, as far as I'm aware. That's kind of my pre-hype era. But when it came to after Bullfrog, he went off and founded Lionhead Studios. And he would hype up every game that they worked with. Fable got massively hyped about all the weird and wonderful things that you'd be able to get up to in that. Black and White got overhyped with, they've come out with revolutionary AI and how it's more advanced than anything that they, that was possible at the time. Half of the stuff that he was claiming was behavior of the AI. It still isn't even possible these days. But it was the era of hype. So that's kind of what we got away with saying with Black and White, so much going on. And then when Lionhead Studios got bought out by Microsoft, Peter Molyneux decided to go off and do something else, founded 22 Cans, another gaming studio, where, again, he was promising to bring back the era of God games. Because Populous and those kind of Powermonger are his brainchilds. And in trying to bring back the era of God games, he set up 22 Cans and came out with Goddess, which again was one of them where it's like, revolutionizing God games and blah blah blah, hype, hype, hype. He even went on to stage a competition, which was I think it was something like What's in the Box or What's in the Cube or something like that, where basically it was a app that
It's in the box, 47.
it was an app that you could download, and every time you tapped on it, it removed a cube, and there was a unseemly amount of cubes, but it was a global project for everybody. So if you tapped on the app, then it would remove a cube, but it would also remove it for me. And that's all you did. You just tapped on your phone to remove cubes. And at the center of the cube, there was to be a secret and a surprise. And the guy who eventually managed to remove the last cube, which won them the secret, Peter Molyneux said that they didn't have to announce this to the world. They could either keep it secret or publish it. And it was some video by Peter Molyneux, and basically for being the last person, he would get a percentage of the profits from the game of Goddess. Unfortunately, there's a couple of flaws with that plan. One, I'm not entirely sure if Goddess actually made a profit. And for two, he never actually paid out, ever. The last I heard.
Kind of linked, I guess.
Maybe. I mean, it depends on what you actually consider profit and revenue and the rest of it, because at the same token, I think if you go on Steam, you can still buy Goddess.
Never even heard of the game.
Here's a hint.
One that rings a bell for me.
Pardon? Sorry, what was that, Madcap?
It's not one that rings a bell for me.
Here's a hint. This is not a recommendation. I would not recommend picking up Goddess or its sequel, or its counterpart.
5,800 reviews, mostly negative.
Yes. Is it still on sale? Can you still buy it?
Yeah, add to cart.
It's an early access.
Oh, it is in early access, yeah.
It never left early access. How much is it going for?
It's in beta version 2.2. How'd you get into version 2 if you're in early access?
Don't ask too many questions. Don't try to figure out the genius that is Peter Molyneux. He does things his own way and gets results. How much is it costing these days?
11 quid.
11
Yeah, it
quid.
looks very pretty.
It's the concept for the game and the art style and what it does well. The only problem is it doesn't do very much, and it became very repetitive like God games did back in the day. Speaking of Populous 1 and 2 are very repetitive games. I've only ever played them for the sort of like the nostalgia value of them. Populous 3 was a change of scenery. I'm not entirely sure how much Peter Molyneux got involved in that, but it does feel like it was sort of like step one towards Black and White, so not entirely sure how much involvement he had in that.
That's my entry into almost all gaming, I think. PC gaming, anyway, with Populous at the beginning.
Not a bad place to start. I mean...
And Theme Hospital.
I've got at least a decade on you, I think, in PC. When was Populous the beginning? Well, no, I don't think it could be a decade. Populous the beginning. Don't tell me. Let me think this one through. 90. See, I want to say 7, but I'm thinking 96. But I'm going to stick with my original because I've done that before and been wrong. 97. Populous at the beginning, 97.
Miles
Pardon?
out.
Miles out.
It's 98.
I mean, I wasn't that far off. One bleeding year.
It's a long time to a butterfly.
So yeah, I was playing PC. So I've got 5 years on you in terms of PC gaming. Because my first PC was 93.
I think it was Populous at the beginning, Team Hospital, and then Red Alert 2, and then it was only Command & Conquer games. It was whenever I got around to playing on a PC, it was usually Generals, Red Alert 2, Yuri's Revenge, that kind of biz.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Dune 2 Battle for Arrakis was my first real-time strategy game, which was awful by modern standards.
Madcat, can you Google strategy video game to tell me what the first game that comes up is? I want to see if it's different for you than it is for me.
Probably would be. I'm using my phone.
Google's offered me a list of, like images that like it does of this is the actual information you're after, and then the search results beneath it.
Sorry, I'm using my phone.
Mine just goes straight to the box standard results with no images.
Okay.
Top one is Wikipedia.
Mine's presented Theme Hospital as in strategy video games. It's got Theme Hospital, Dungeon Keeper, From Dust Spore, then War of the Overworld, which I don't know.
Wow, you've got a really... So, I've used my phone. There's nothing sensitive on there. So, there we go. And just under the title bar, it's got the sort of video games. I've got Civilization 6, Crusader Kings 3, XCOM 2, StarCraft, Stellaris.
Europa Universalis?
Nope. I've got StarCraft 2, Warhammer, Total War Warhammer, not entirely sure. Oh, Europa Universalis is later on. Civilization 5, Total War 3 Kings, Into the Breach, Age of Empires 4, Humankind, Rome Total War, XCOM Enemy Unknown, Mushroom Wars 2, Age of Empires, Crusader Kings 2, Supreme Commander, Civilization 4. I've played a lot of these games. Age of Empires.
Your first group is my second group, which is unusual, and my first group seems to be mostly retro games.
I mean, you are a bit of a retro gamer to a certain degree.
I suppose on my PC I am. I've got more old games than I've got new games.
Right, I need you to be not there.
Bullet to the head.
I'm thinking of... There's
Or
got to
coin,
be...
Do it
MS
properly.
DOS Windows 3.1 games. Back in 94.
I played some
Pretty cool.
MS-DOS 3.1 games on the computer I had at the time, back in 94. What game? I want to know to a certain degree which games was your first Saber on the PC. MS-DOS. Because 94 would be...
What was... Oh! So, when we got our first PC, we got it. This was back when PC World was somewhere you could actually get decent PCs from. We got it from PC World, and it came with.
Well,
You
I
could
need
pick,
you.
like,
I need you to.
applications for it, and me and my brother picked games each. Oh, my dad got a game as well. That's right. We had 3 games because my brother had a football game, which I obviously detested because I hate football.
Sensible Soccer?
Like some manager, but football management.
Oh, Football Manager.
Oh,
Whatever.
I actually remember Sensible Soccer. That was quite good.
But yeah, I got TFX, which was a flight sim, which was absolutely fantastic. The manual is part a discussion on the actual aircraft and proper aerodynamics, and then a little bit of telling you how to play the game, which I think is absolutely brilliant.
Alright,
but it is,
See you later, Sebasta. Bummer
no
about
worries,
the
Sebasta.
5 a.m. start, but sleep well.
Yeesh. Yeah, take it easy.
And the other game we had was Worms.
So Worms is a lot. Well, I say a lot later. It was a bit later than I started. Saber's James Bond RoboCod 2.
Oh, RoboCod 2 was great.
RoboCod 2, I've never actually owned that game, but I've played it a fair bit because one of the interesting things was the demo of that game had an interesting thing. So when you're making a demo, you only really want to release part of the game. And so they coded it up so that it was like just the first 2 levels. After that, the doors would not unlock. Interesting thing is, because they didn't know what assets to remove from the game, they kind of like just left the rest of the game in place. So it was a rather large demo. But because it only unlocked the first 2 doors, no problem. Only thing that they forgot to do was remove the cheat codes. And so if you went to, so there was a level select area, and if you put in the cheat code for unlock all levels, it unlocked all of the levels, even just using the demo. So that's a little tidbit of RoboCod, and yeah, I've played that one. Yeah, Worms kind of gives me an age for your computer, Magcat. Your first computer, it's probably about 95, 96.
Right, yeah, because I think I was still in towards the end of primary school. I think it was either towards the end or I just started in secondary, but I think it was towards the end.
Trying to go into the mind palace of what was happening around Dune. Not Dune. Worms. See, I didn't get Worms until Worms Plus came out. So that might have been like a year later. But yeah, my first 3 video games, and I didn't have any say in this. This was all my dad picking them out. Which is so like, wasn't great, but it wasn't the worst. Jesus Christ, did you really have to watch me change? Now everybody's going to be paranoid again. Look, there's no point in running, you'll only die tired. Oh, you'll get away. You got away, you bastard. No, somebody's got a machine gun. Will you run away or do something? I need health. So yeah, my first 3 games were Nigel Mansell's F1, Elite Plus, and oh god, Falcon 3. But shortly after that, there was Lemmings, Oh No More Lemmings, Dune, and some tank simulator game based around the M1 Abrams. Or Abrams, or Adams.
Abrams?
Something like that. It's some really old games. Terrible games. Just terrible tank simulator. You know, it was...
If it's the one that I'm thinking on, yeah, it was a bit dire, but I remember back then it was kind of awesome because it was, the best you could get at the time.
Yeah, it was pretty much the best you could get at the time. And it was pretty much like the flight simulators of that era as well. It was like...
Yeah.
They were a thing, but they were not, you were basically shooting triangles out of the sky if you were lucky.
Oh, I still remember watching my brother play TFX, and I'm there with the manual in my hand reading, and I went, you can press escape like 3 times. So my brother hit escape 3 times, and the pilot ejected. I went, and that ejects your pilot.
One of the things I remember about Falcon 3 and then the tank one was the fact that the controls were so complicated. What you actually got in the back of the manual was this cardboard pullout, and then there was sort of like a series of dotted lines over it for the shape of your keyboard, and you are expected to cut out these dotted lines and then fit it over your keyboard, and it give you a rough idea of what all the keys would be, because it'd be sort of like green and then a line going to somewhere near a color, to somewhere near a key, pointing out that this was the change ammo button or fire the cannon button, and they were just horrendous. But it was one of the few ways that you had a snowball's chance in remembering all of the keys for those kind of games. Oh god, I tried Lemmings on the PC too. My dad could do like 3 to 4 levels. I could only do 1. I think I got fairly far in Lemmings. The original one, but the thing is, one of the things is, it's like, I remember my dad getting these games, and we must have had them for like a month or 2 months. There was none of this instant download of anything. There was none of this sort of like buy shitloads of video games. It was like, this is what 3 video games you were getting for the next 3 months. Like it or lump it. You found 1 lifeless body? You are not looking hard enough. Where's
It's
this?
actually weird when I think that people say, "Oh, I played Lemmings on the PC." I'm like, I played it on the Sega Mega Drive.
I played it on the Game Boy.
Oh wow!
Booyah!
I never had a Game Boy. We had a Game Gear.
Yeah, I
up in
played-
the Sega family.
RoboCod was on the Game Gear.
I had a Game Boy and so few games for it. I think I had Lemmings. I had Tetris. No, I don't even think mine came with Tetris.
It must have come with Tetris. Everyone had
The
Tetris.
Game Boy.
No, I don't think mine came with Tetris. I think it was one of them models where it was like you just don't get a game with it, or I got a Mario game with it, maybe. Because I had a
Into
Mario
your
game.
Long love of Mario games.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like, I'm not judging, and to a certain degree, the thing is, it's, as I was about to say, it's like at the time, you know, because we weren't getting video games very frequently. It was one of them where, you sons of bitches. Mission only has 1 active exit and it's locked. How do I activate the exit, Medkit? It's locked. It's back of the manor. It's might be a boat.
Okay.
You know, it was one of the reasons why I played Dune, and why, you know, because Dune was one of them games which I wasn't very good at when we first got it. Because there was a lot of narrative, a lot of reading, and a lot of remembering the little things in between and what you had to do and whatnot. And that was just pure memory, remembering the steps. Because I wasn't comprehensive enough to be reading the prompts on screen and knowing what I was supposed to be doing. I was
In the greenhouse is a key for the boat, apparently.
right, yeah, shows. And you know, my comprehension wasn't great. I wasn't really paying attention. I would just go through the motions up until I got to a certain point, and then ask my dad, it's like, what am I supposed to do from here? And he'd then take over the game, and I'd watch him for a bit, and then learn sort of like the next couple of steps. And then the next day, I would start the game afresh, brand new, and go through the game up until that point. And then I'd learn the next couple of steps and keep, you know, rinse, wash, and repeat so many times that I started that game without finishing it. But you had the time to do that back then because there was just nothing else to do. There was nothing else to play. Yeah, okay, I could play Lemmings, but, you know, there was only so many levels of that I could get through until it got to the point where I don't know what I'm doing on a level, and you're just randomly trying everything, or wait until all the lemmings come out and then make them explode. That was always
fantastic fireworks rainbow. Yeah, I used to do that.
And so yeah, there was, and like I say, 3 of the games were just about unplayable. The F1, Nigel Mansell's F1 was terrible. It was probably okay for the time, but it was not great. Falcon 3, not really
Like
interested.
Nigel Mansell then.
Yeah, pretty much. Falcon 3 wasn't great, and I'm trying to think, the tank one wasn't great. So, it was like, those are your choices, and it's like, I'll play some Lemmings and then try Dune again. And you just, through repetition, got better at these things. For a 5-year-old, I don't blame you for getting bored and wandering off. And to be fair, to a certain degree, I used to get bored and wander off and play on the other computer. Because we also had a BBC Micro when I was growing up, as well as a IBM PC.
Was that related to the company BBC, like to BBC, or?
Yes and no.
That's bizarre.
So the BBC Micro, or the Acorn, as it also kind of is
Oh,
referred
I know
to.
the Acorn. Yeah, I think I've heard of that before.
Yeah, it was the ones that you get in a lot of schools around our era.
That is what I'm aware of.
But the BBC did a series on basically trying to bring tech to the British public. And one of the things that they did is that they sponsored Acorn to come out with a computer model that they could basically demonstrate how to do certain things, word processing and getting programs running and the rest of it at the time on a computer. And they went with the Acorn, and with that, the BBC Micro was a thing, but it was essentially just a rebranded Acorn. Although one was more powerful or more expandable than the other. But no, we had one of
Acorns
those.
had room to grow.
Pardon?
I hear the Acorns had room to grow.
Ew.
I just refuse to acknowledge that.
We get enough nutty jokes coming in.
Which contract to do? Got half an hour. So,
Is there anything Pokemon themed?
there isn't. Although there might be on the public ones trending.
Gotta kill them all.
Nightmare Call, Sayonara, Panic at the Rave, Final Rest, Nails. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go back to the features. One of you pick one.
Let them eat cake.
Let them eat cake.
It's weird. I was looking at the one next to it, which is I am vegan, and I thought you said let the meat cake, and I was like, what? That's weird. What?
That's how I say vegan. People who don't have meat cakes.
Don't laugh at Mike Cat's bad jokes. Maybe he'll get bored of making it. He only makes bad jokes to entertain himself. It's got nothing to do with our enjoyment in this. He's going to make them whether we laugh or not. And he'll get a rise out of J Station, who's also a big fan. You just kind of learn to tolerate them and hope that they're not so terrible that you actually find some of them entertaining. But when
You laughed at the antelope.
What was the antelope one?
The fact about the antelopes being able to jump higher than the average house.
Oh, yeah.
See?
That's a terrible fucking joke. J-Station, have you heard that one?
I have heard that one. Thing is, if it makes one person laugh, then it's worth it. If that person happens to be yourself, then it's all the more worth it.
And this is what I
At least I
have.
can get through most jokes without laughing first. You know, I get to the punchline and start laughing.
I'm terrible for that.
Occasionally I'll just crack out laughing and people look at me and it takes an age for me to get the joke out because my mind has just played the joke over and over again and I'm just laughing at it.
Was there any optional stuff? No, it was just kill people.
It was just kill people.
Alright, excuse me, coming through. I need your disguise.
Oh, can I reach this can?
Yes, you can.
Yes. Right, been working on
I am still silent assassin here. Oh no, they've just discovered somebody.
It lasted for all of 18 seconds.
Well, no, I managed to get in there, knock him out, take his clothes, assassinate a guy, and get out before I was discovered. Oh.
Yoink.
Somebody can see me? Somebody's noticing? Go away. Why are you walking around with the buddy? Run away! Shit. Bad choices all round. Fuck. But I suppose to a certain degree we all had our go-to games, and the other thing, it's all, the BBC Micro was one of them where my dad had it for years. I literally grew up around it, so there was just absolutely shed loads of games that we had on it. And some of them, you know, they were games for the time, which meant, you know, they'd already gone through their awkward phases of, you know, Pong and the rest of it.
Yeah.
So some of the games were actually pretty good. You know, they weren't fantastic. But they weren't terrible. Because they were working within the limitations of what they had, rather than trying to push the boundaries, which, you know, PC games were... Are they always still trying to push the boundaries? I don't know. I don't know whether to make that.
Some are. There's a broader enough range, I think, that...
Yeah, it's just... It's not just that, it's all like... I think some games have gotten to a limit, and that limit isn't going to change for a while yet. You know... Strategy games are an ideal example, because they're one that I do feel has stagnated. In recent times, in terms of new developments. You don't get many new strategy games in a different style. So if we go all the way back to Dune 2, Battle for Arrakis, I feel that it was one of the first. It was definitely one of the first that I played. Not entirely sure if it was the first ever made, but hey ho, let's just accept. What are you doing? Sorry. Somebody's winning a fist fight against 47.
You fighting for your life? How dare you?
Are you gonna come around this corner? I'm gonna hide in this wall so that nobody sees me. But yeah, so that was terrible in a variety of ways. To issue an order, you had to click on each individual unit. There was no group select. Not even if you held down shift or anything like that. That didn't start appearing until Warcraft on Warcraft 2 Command and Conquer. You clicked on the unit, you had 4 buttons down the left hand side of the screen, which was move, attack, retreat, or cancel. Or stop, sorry. You were only limited to 25 units at a time. There was ways of breaking that, but it made the game run incredibly slowly.
I always hated unit caps. It's always one that's kind of a pet peeve. Like, oh, come on, let me just build a billion things. Just march them into the enemy.
The problem, to a certain degree, with a lot of older PCs was just not the processing power capable of doing so.
Yeah.
Um,
I've played a few RTSs on console, and I think that's a similar issue. And it's also not a good experience.
yeah, Dune 2 was one of the very first real-time strategy games, and yeah, it smacks me as one of the first because it just was so clunky, and I don't recall anything before it or around that time. But yeah, it was one of the originals, and you know, it was very difficult to see anything on the minimap. So you could click on a unit and tell it to move and click on the minimap, but God knows where they were moving off to. The hell are you doing? Hey, you got a new disguise. Weird place to do it. Alright, I'm only compromised. Right. I'm not sure if this is gonna... Right, okay. Can go around this way. And then came, you know, so like Warcraft, which was very much the same. It had a little bit of single button interface. No, it didn't. I think what it had was quick keys. So if you clicked on a unit, you could tell it to move. You know, you selected your units, and then you pressed A to attack, and other buttons to move around. I can't remember what buttons they are. It's been an age, which helps speed things up a lot. I don't think Dune had that. Dune 2 had that. Warcraft 2 and Command and Conquer. I'm not sure which came out first. I think it was Command and Conquer.
No idea with that one.
I'm gonna go with Command and Conquer. Just on the fact that... Oh, wait. Retain that comment for one moment. No, Command and Conquer came out first. Warcraft 2 came out later. Just... You know, tell me I'm wrong if I'm wrong, because I am curious to know if I'm right. But I'm pretty sure Command and Conquer came out first, because that came out on the PC and was flaky support. It came out for DOS and was flaky support for Windows 95. Warcraft 2 was more prone to run natively in 95, but also supported DOS. And yeah, Command and Conquer, I think, removed limit. I don't think you had a unit limit on that, or the unit limit was ridiculous. I have no idea where I'm going. Where am I going? Who am I trying to kill? What's my name again? I had it all the way over there. What am I doing over here? I've just been wandering around aimlessly. Warcraft had a unit limit, kind of. It was based on the number of farms that you had.
Yeah, like a almost context-based unit limit.
Yes, but there wasn't a unit... Was there? There might have still been an upper limit in terms of... You can only build so many farms, or you could only gather so much food, but you needed food to feed troops. Those troops consume food, and if you didn't build enough farms, then you'd hit a limit on how many troops that you could buy, and you just end up building more farms, which was a time and difficult process in terms of the amount of area you needed. Look, I need everybody to get the fuck down while I shoot this guy in the head. Shit.
Ooh.
So yeah, that was kind of a soft limit on unit cap, because you just ended up winning the game before you ran out of troops that you could build, because it just took so much time and resources that you just didn't bother building up a massive army. Then you can pretty much track the progression of real-time strategy games through the Command and Conquer series. Didn't really make many grand improvements until it came to so Tiberium Sun had 3D terrain, kind of. It was more 2.5D terrain. Some elements of it was 3D, and you could actually sculpt it using artillery. So it was a little bit dynamic on that, but it still had the two-dimensional terrain limits of the original Command and Conquer Red Alert. And Red Alert 2? Did Red Alert 2 have 3D terrain?
You couldn't rotate, but it was 3D looking. You had height and you had that kind of thing.
Yeah, but was it actually possible of changing it? Because Red Alert had theoretical height. It just didn't have height, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It looked like it had height, but it didn't. Tiberium Sun had height, and you could actually influence it, and it would make a difference. I'm trying to remember Red Alert 2.
What do you mean? What do you mean by influencing?
In Tiberium Sun, if you got a artillery gun and shot into an area which was flat and didn't have any of these 2.5 dimensional elements to it, you could get the terrain to lower.
No, I don't think there's any of that in Red Alert 2.
Yeah. So that was kind of more going back to the 2.5D terrain. But then came the era of people trying to make real-time strategy games in true 3D, a la Generals.
Generals is pretty good.
Generals was one of the later ones of that era,
Yeah.
but it still looks awful.
Do you think so? I'd play Generals now.
I'd play Generals now, but compared to what it was supposed to... Look at any of the vehicles. They're basically boxes on wheels. There's some molding, polygons to them, but not a great count.
Oh, I see. You mean in terms of the actual units themselves?
Yeah.
The thing that blew my mind, I remember the first time I saw a MiG take off from the Chinese base, and seeing it have flight patterns and stuff like that. That was something I'd never seen before, and I was blown away by that when I first did that.
I'm trying to remember.
It wasn't because Red Alert 2, you had a Harrier that took off vertically, flew in a straight line, dropped a bomb, turned around, flew straight back. This had dynamic flight patterns, as in it had a runway, it banked, it dropped the payload, banked back, and had to land back on the runway. It was a whole thing. I was like, oh my god, look at this. And they had fire that looked like fire rather than 8 pixels one after another.
Yeah, the thing is though, that's sort of like the cusp of sort of like the early 3D, and yes, because of the 3D models, it looked slightly better than it did in because there was planes in Red Alert, and they had kind of flight paths, but they were very crudely done, and it was basically it would just slide along. And puff smoke out of the back.
It was ground movement in the air. It didn't look or feel like air movement.
Yeah, well, it did change elevation from the ground to the air, but it was just sliding along it and turning. It wasn't super great.
Yeah.
So yeah, but this is the thing. This is so like Total no, yeah, Total Annihilation. Have you ever played that one?
I've not even heard of Total Annihilation.
God, you are. See, somebody look up Total Annihilation, its release date versus Command and Conquer Generals.
Oh, this is before my time.
Is it before your
97?
time? Right, now look up that for its 3D models.
Total Annihilation released September 26, 1997.
Right, and when was CNC Generals?
Kind of 2000 something.
Generals. It was released Microsoft Windows 2003 and Mac OS 2004.
Right, so 2003. So, JStation, go away and look up a gameplay trailer or gameplay of Total Annihilation.
I'm looking at the footage, and it looks more like Command and Conquer Red Alert than it does Generals.
Does it?
Yeah.
Does it? Are you seeing anything with aircraft?
I'm gonna pop some visuals into Discord.
Because I feel that had 3D models with banking planes and the rest of it.
See if we can find past all of these adverts. You know Black Friday was coming up, by the way.
Pardon?
Did you know Black Friday was coming up?
Never heard of it.
Next one.
It's been mentioned once or twice.
But no,
Being bombarded on every scale by.
I think to a certain degree I'm a little bit immune to advertising because I really don't pay much attention to it, so they've kind of given up on me.
I'm liking the entire globe popular style to this.
Pardon?
This Total Annihilation. You see the whole globe, right? Or is this a different game that I'm looking at?
What are you looking at? Okay, I'm.
Oh, no, this is Planetary Annihilation. There we go. Total Annihilation aircraft. There we go.
Yeah, that's.
It didn't look like any of the stuff I've seen.
I'm gonna stop playing. I'm gonna stop pretending to play Hitman. Let's go back to just talking.
Time ago.
I mean, I was pretending to play it. So I'm gonna load up Total Annihilation. Let's get fucking JStation educated. Video. Oh, why you gotta do me dirty like this, Chrome? Video game, video. Yeah, it had 3D models for some of the units, I think. Yeah, Planetary Annihilation was a totally different thing. It was a ridiculously overpriced game for the time. Yeah. I mean, this is... What's annoying is it's not... I've found videos, but it's somebody who's modded the game. But no, I might stream it to you at some point, J-Station. Because the thing is, to me, Total Annihilation came out in 97. 3D models, aircraft that twist and spun in the air and did all that kind of fancy stuff. About 5 years before Command and Conquer Generals did it. So to me, any 3D game that wasn't Total Annihilation looked dated because Total Annihilation did it first. Now, I'm not saying that the Command & Conquer Generals gameplay was terrible. There's aspects of Command & Conquer Generals that I liked. I liked the fact that the three factions are very different. You know, they've gotten a little bit samey in some of the Command & Conquer games. They always had a bit of diversity about them, but I don't know. Generals having three factions was great. The gameplay was pretty good. They changed the resource management for generals, and I liked the direction that they went for that, as opposed to continually to use the same structure from the Red Alerts from the previous games. You've shared a link.
Yes, so that's Migs taking off in Red Alert, if it's at the right time code. Kind of is. Not Red Alert, sorry.
Generals.
Generals, yeah.
Yeah.
It's surprisingly hard to find people who are actually playing the game. There's loads of, I think because Generals has been modded so much over the years, all of the footage you find just seems to be mod stuff.
Well, that's my problem with Total Annihilation is I found some interesting stuff for videos of that, but somebody's modded it up to 1020p and high def graphics, and it's like, that's not the game that I remember playing.
Man, I absolutely love playing Generals.
But yeah, I enjoyed Generals for the time, but it wasn't anything revolutionary for me, and
the other RTS you're missing out is the Total War series, which was actually a change of pace for real-time strategy compared to a lot of the others.
I don't really feel that Total War... No, I've played Total War. I actually played the original Total War, and I've played a few in between. What was I going to say? Where was I going with this? So yeah, I feel that's more of a Empire Management, a 4X game, rather than a...
It's two-sided, because there's the Empire side is, yeah, that's Empire Management. It's not the world map, I guess you'd call it, is Empire Management. But the actual, I was only ever really interested in the actual combat, the in-field combat, where you could arrange formations of troops and take the high ground and sneak cavalry out, stuff like that. I thought it was fantastic.
See, I didn't mind that, apart from the fact that... So the original Total War, the game was stupid. And it frustrated the hell out of me. So...
I think the first one I played was Medieval Total War, and I remember it had like gifts or something for each individual unit, which is why it was such a huge and heavy game.
So, you're defending a territory. By the way, you didn't have options for setting up troops before the battle began in the original.
Is that the first one? Yeah.
Yeah. So,
man, yeah.
you would get dumped in, and it would make stupid tactical choices. For example, you'd have 3 units of archers defending a territory against foot soldiers. It would place you at the bottom of the hill in a forest, totally negating any bonuses that you might have of having archers, because you want open terrain and you want to be you want the high ground. And then
They
these
got to the point on them now where you actually initiate the battle in the overworld determines the starting positions in the fight, which is quite cool. So if you actually approach from the forest, you will appear in the forest. If you approach from the hills, you'll have the high ground. So you have to work out how you're approaching each fight, as well as then deal with the consequences in game. So people will defend the high ground, and then you have to attack them uphill, that kind of thing, which is very cool.
Which is great for what it is now, but I kind of got put off by the series because it would make stupid, and the auto-resolve combat was also annoying. Because, again, it'd be so like you'd have a fort and archers, and you'd have 3 units of archers, and they'd come in with 2 units of foot soldiers, and you would lose that fort because of RNGesus.
If anything, it's gone too far the other way now, and you can just Rome Total War 2 is the most recent one I've played. And for if you have even vaguely the numbers, you can just be like, yeah, okay, it's fine. We're just gonna complete this one and auto resolve. There we go.
See, the thing is, I play Total War, Warhammer variety, and I don't mind the auto resolve because
I don't know the Warhammer ones. Are they good?
They're not bad. It's one of them where I think you might get more out of it if you know a little bit about the lore of it. But it's interesting because one of the things is they've got. See, I don't know really too many of the Total Wars or the modern ones. But for example, dwarves have in Warhammer hold grudges. So anytime that you get attacked or anytime that you are wronged, it goes into the Book of Grudges. And it gives you an objective to complete to basically strike that grudge out of the Book of Grudges. And that is essentially your driving point for a lot of your immediate actions. You know, if the orcs come in and take a town off you, that'll go into the Book of Grudges and you will be given a task of basically taking back that town and teaching them a lesson by taking 2 of their other towns over. And the longer a grudge is in the Book of Grudges, your citizens will start doubting you as a worthy leader if you leave it too long. So you've got to be constantly keeping your Book of Grudges clear. But that's only to do with dwarves. Dwarves are the only faction that has grudges. You've got other factions with unique mechanics to them. You know, so you've got undead, you've got the... What are the vermin folk called? Skaven. There we go. You've got the Skaven who exist in towns that are ruins and can infiltrate other towns by crawling through their sewer systems. And, you know, when you own a town that is ruined, you're pretty much hidden, so you're trying to keep them away from knowing where you are. But at the same token, the town might be ruined and they'll think about just re-establishing the place, and the more they know where you are, the harder time that you have, so you've got to try and just be all cloak and dagger about it, because you are a weak race, apart from when you have the numbers. And it's interesting because whenever you play a different faction, you do get a very different experience of it. But for the most part, there's still certain aspects of the moving troops around that I just feel that feels janky as all sin. So I don't really play the tactical combat side of it. I'm just all about the Empire side of things, and you know, it's like
we should team up and play a game. You can run the Empire stuff, and I'll do the infield battles, because they're the bits that interest me more than anything else. Is the infield combat.
Takes me back to when we used to do XCOM.
Interceptor. Yeah. I couldn't fly a spaceship to save my life. My ace pilot can't manage a space station to save anything. So I do all the business management and make sure that he had all the best guns at all the best times, and then it's like, all right, Mike, yeah, combat mission, you do it. To a certain degree, if could actually get to the same location and hang out for like a day, I won't mind streaming or gaming like that with you. Where it's I deal with the business management empire side of things, and it's the thing is you're going to get into a lot of fights. And I'll get.
You don't always have to fight all of them. Is the enjoyable part of it. You choose the fun fights. If it's like 8 troops and versus 15, no 8 troops versus 12 troops, whatever. You're like, this is going to be a slog. It's not enough of an engaging fight to do. You just kind of skip it.
Oh no, I will gun for taking over towns and whatnot. Yeah, if it's a moot fight, that's fair enough. But I'm talking about 10 to 20 units aside here.
Yeah, that's how you play the game.
For me, that's where my mind just goes, no, I'm out. Screw this noise. I can't be dealing with this. Just make sure you've got the superior numbers and auto-resolve. Ta-da!
It does work. It's the opposite of how I play, which is quite funny. There was a TV show actually based on that game called Time Commanders. If anyone's ever seen that before. Where
What?
they recreated... It was a TV show where they recreated historical battles, and people came in and played Time Commanders, and they each had control of a certain number of troops. And there was the overall commander who kind of oversaw the entire battle and had to command his subordinates. It was genuinely a great show. It had about 3 series, and it was cancelled because I think me and Ghost of Sunny were the only people who watched it, and my dad maybe.
See, my dad probably would have watched something like that if he knew that it existed.
Genuinely great TV show.
I enjoy watching things where it's like war games like that, because it is interesting to watch how these things happen. And also to a certain degree, you can start seeing where things start to break down in combat. Where
In actual combat.
Well, it's the disobedience or the lack of discipline where it's like, people getting a little bit too cocksure. It depends on how the show was done per se, but if it was like, if you didn't have to obey everything on the point that the order came in, if you know what I mean. Like, for example...
That was the main stipulation of the show, was people would try to take orders. People would give orders and they would not be accurately followed. Consistently every week.
Which makes for the interesting points as to sort of, why these things fail, or in certain cases why they succeed when it really shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the person who it's like, oh yeah, I've got plenty of troops left, I'm going to continue attacking, and it's like, no, I need you to retreat and reinforce this flank, or else this flank is going to collapse. And it's like, but I just ignore that for a couple more rounds and then go off and do it. And by that point, the flank has collapsed, and yes, you had a Pyrrhic victory over on the western flank, but your eastern flank has totally collapsed because the troops weren't there. And yeah, it's that letting ego in the way and the rest of it that can really turn the scales. And it's why, to a certain degree, the disciplined army will always win against the undisciplined army. It doesn't matter how many troops you've got, you're going to lose to discipline, give or take. And that's one of the interesting things when it does come down to Total War. The original game I will discredit because it's one of them where it's like, it was so bad in so many annoying places, where it's like, it didn't matter where you were. It's like, I have 3 units of archers. This should be able to protect against this 1 unit of foot soldiers coming towards me, and then the auto resolve would just screw you over and you'd lose half your troops. Or you go into the actual combat and then you find that your people are defending at the bottom of the hill in the middle of a forest, and it's like, that's not where archers work. And the game just seemed insistent on trying to screw you over, which I did not appreciate it. So that kind of put me off a franchise. I've yet to really get back into the franchise. I've got Total War Warhammer. I enjoy it. I've not yet really played a full game of it because it takes forever. But it's one of them where I can kind of enjoy it, and I'd be tempted, if I got ambushed and I know that I could lose it, then I might be tempted to go into the combat. I think the other problem I've got with it is also the load times. That is a major crippling factor of Total War Warhammer.
The Rome ones aren't too bad. It's usually commit to fight, wait maybe 5 seconds, and then the all rocks up.
Yeah, no, Total
But there's
War...
a lot less going on with Rome because there's no magic, there's no fantasy, there's no surreal backgrounds. It's all fields with soldiers in it.
I don't know whether it's... The thing is, to me, that doesn't really make sense why there's a difference between Rome and Warhammer. It still needs to load in the troops, whether it's Rome or Warhammer. It still needs to load in the terrain. It doesn't matter whether it's fantastical or, a tree is a tree. It doesn't matter whether it's a mushroom or whether it's wood. It still needs to look like a tree, and that's got to be loaded in from somewhere.
Yeah, it's strange.
But no, that's the other annoying thing. And I'll only really load in when it's a near thing and I need to be in control of everything so that I can make the most of it. And plus, well, you've got a little bit of setup that you can do in the new ones, I think. Or at least they're far enough apart that you've got time to adjust troop positions.
Yeah, well, you have a whole. You don't start the battle until you've prepared your troops.
Yeah, and that I don't feel. It wasn't enough of a difference if it was in the original Total War. But no. And so yeah, after getting back to an original point that I was making is when it came to Command and Conquer Generals, what new real-time strategy games have done better than Generals other than improved graphics?
There's a new one coming out which is what's it based on? The Bug film, Starship Troopers, but that looks like more Generals. It actually looks like there's a World War II one, I think, which is squad-based. It looks more like that, actually, than anything else.
See, I've played plenty of real-time strategy games which are squad-based that I'm not impressed with the way that some of them have gone, if I'm entirely honest with you. Dawn of War, Warhammer 40k, Dawn of War, that franchise, it started off pretty much just as a, Generals style. Have you ever played it, J-Station?
Which, sorry?
Warhammer, Dawn of War.
No, I think I might have played about 4 minutes of it. I didn't understand the turn-based aspect of it too much because I've never played that kind of game before.
Turn-based aspect of it? There
was some Warhammer 40k game that I had on my PC at some point, and I remember opening it up and being like, "This isn't making any sense to me." I tried twice to do a level, and I was like, "No, I'm done with this game."
I'm not entirely sure if we're even talking about the same franchise. There's a lot of Warhammer 40k games out there.
Yeah, that's true.
Some of them are turn-based. But Dawn of War is a real-time strategy game, which didn't get turn stuff until one of the add-ons, and even then that was choose your battle, go play the battle, and then see what everybody else did.
The Starship Troopers game has got a release date.
But yeah, I mean, Dawn of War was squad-based. It just wasn't very squaddy, as it were. It was just, you run across a terrain, you shot at each other. Dawn of War 2, it started going squad-based, and I know, you moved up and you had to make sure that your troop stayed behind cover or they'd just get shot to ribbons. Which makes sense if it wasn't damn cack-handed to do. And also, for the love of God, if somebody is doing you've got a wall and your squad is over here because they're shooting over that way and they're defended, great stuff. And they finish shooting the guys over here. And then something comes up behind you and your squad's over here pointing that way. And you need them to get around the other side of the wall so they don't get shot in the back. For the love of God, make troops jump over the fucking wall. Rather than spend 5 minutes getting shot in the back, walking all the way around this wall. So annoying.
In the grim dark future, there is no jumping over walls.
Which isn't too bad when it comes to Dawn of War, the original, because you're fucking Space Marines in heavy fucking armor. Why is this 2 pixel thin wall made out of maybe dirt bricks more powerful at stopping bullets than 3 inches of steel? Makes no sense. Anyway, I do believe it's time to wrap up the stream.
And on that bombshell.
I mean, does anybody else, does anybody have anything? The power of bricks, Sonny. Yeah, the power of bricks. Did Sonny have a cravat? That's something that I just want to know. Is it a cravat?
It is a cravat, yeah.
Yeah, a cravat. I don't think you were around when the question got answered. Or was that a different character?
It is source of it is in the Dawn of Flame book.
Yes.
So I'm guessing it will have been.
But I gave.
Unless Dawn of Flame was out.
No, because Dawn of Flame was out before. Because remember the sequence of events is I tried moving Friday night D&D over to Starfinder, and that kind of imploded when we started playing Dawn of War. But shortly after we started going over to Starfinder, I got you into playing Dead Sons.
Yes.
But as part of Dawn of War, I gave Sonny the material on Serum Ray, which included the weapons, the mini-sun, the heatsink craft. And I wasn't sure whether Sonny reused the whole Serum Ray shtick with Sonny, or whether the Ghost of Sonny only kept it to the Dawn of War. But now that we mentioned the mini-sun, I do remember certain aspects of Sonny being, worshipping Serum Ray, having this mini-sun that they clocked a few people over the head with, I'm sure. And so the heatsink craft makes a little more sense.
Yeah, if it was released with the mini-sun, then I'm pretty sure Sonny, the OG Sonny, grabbed everything Serum Ray based.
Yeah. Apart from the mercy weapons.
That's not Sonny style.
Don't know why. So, does anybody else want to say anything about real-time strategy games, or shall we leave it on a bombshell?
My general thing with real-time strategy games is that they are PC only. So I've enjoyed. The first thing I started playing a game when I got a PC built was real-time strategy games, because they are awful on console. Awful.
Do you know the original Dune 2 Battle for Arrakis came out on console? I have never played it. I have never tried to play it because it was horrendous on the PC. So I can only imagine how bad it was going to be on a console.
Loads come out on the console. I bought an Xbox 360 to play Red Alert 3 on because I couldn't play. I didn't have anything that played it at the time, PC wise, because it hadn't brought out the Mac version at the time, and it was awful. So I bought it when it came out on Mac later, about 2 years later.
Why did you think that was a good idea?
I've never played a strategy game on a console before.
Oh,
I
right.
really,
So it was your first
really
time.
wanted to play it.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you made the mistake
Really want to
once.
play Red Alert.
I'll allow anybody to make a mistake once. It's just if
It was
you...
like, oh, it's on a console that I can buy, and I can actually play Red Alert 3 for the first time. Oh, this isn't. I can tell right away this is not the experience that I want. Me and my 12 troopers shall go and invade this base.
Yeah. Wait,
The good
12?
news is that Total War Warhammer 3 is coming out on the Xbox Game Pass, so I can give that a go in February.
Although you still might want to go back and buy the original too. Because one of the things that they did for Total War Warhammer is if you owned Total War Warhammer and bought Total War Warhammer 2, anything that you purchased and had in Warhammer, you got in Warhammer 2, including the map. So basically, you know, if you owned the backdated stuff, you could play with it in the newer stuff, which is a nice touch, I feel.
Cool. Yeah. I'll see how I get on with it first. I've not even touched Rome Total War 2 yet, so other than I've done I think I did maybe a day of the Rome campaign, which is not properly playing. You need to get into it properly.
Yeah, I much prefer my fantastical stuff over my historically accurate stuff. Anyway, I made that decision. It's like, Rome, who cares about it?
There is a bridge of that in that I think I don't know what it's called, but it's the Greek version of Rome Total War. There's mythic battles, so you can do the Battle of Troy, you can do all of the Greek mythology battles in Rome Total War versus like the Cyclops and Medusa, all that kind of thing. I think it's a really cool idea.
Yeah, it's a cool idea. I mean, Age of Empires did it first, because they came out with the Age of Mythology. But it's one of them where it's like the Age of Mythology was terribly, terribly done, if I remember correctly. It just didn't play right because it was introducing flying units into a game that didn't really support flying units. And
Always fun.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, I'm not actually a fan of the Age of Empire series.
The only one I've ever seen is the new one. I think it's the one, Age of Empires 4, is it?
Yeah, that's only just come out.
It's also on Xbox Game Pass, and I've seen a bit of it. And what I really, really love about it is that it gives you historical context to each of the fights in terms of like a little documentary and a little like video about the setting of the battle and how it led to it. And it's really cool historical information surrounding each fight, like real historical information.
Yeah, I mean,
it's made it into an edu game.
Yeah, I've seen that done in. I think some of the original Age of Empires might have been like that a little bit.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was a trend for the series because I've never seen any of the others.
I know
whether
that
it was original.
Doobry, what's it? Flibbity Flop.
My favorite game.
It's not Age of Empires, it's Empire Earth. There we go. Empire Earth was made by the guy who concepted Age of Empires for Microsoft, but Microsoft said no, it'll be too expensive to make a game of that magnitude. So they went over to Sierra and made Empire Earth, which was essentially a Age of Empires throughout all the ages, rather than just prehistoric, which was where Age of Empires started. I can't remember where Age of Empires ended. I think it might have been Rome. And then Age of Empires 2 kind of picked up where that left off and went towards medieval. And Age of Empires 3 was the Wild West and colonization of America. Age of Empires 4, I don't know where they went with that.
Is that the new one that I mentioned before?
Yes.
That's well, you start off as William the Conqueror, so it is the Anglo-Franco Wars. I can't remember what they're actually called. I mean, there was a lot of those, I guess.
Yeah. So I think it's gone back in time a little bit. You know, the Age of Empires 3 was the Wild West, and that
Yeah, 4
era.
is much further back.
Yeah. I don't know. I suck at history.
I'll have to. It is what I want to play, though. I've seen a few of my friends play it, and now I'm like, oh, this is another game I've got to play. Got to add it to my list.
Yeah, I'll probably end up checking it out at some point because I do like my strategy games. But I hate myself every time that I buy one where it's like, Age of Empires 4, I'll probably end up buying it at some point. I mean, it's like, it's kind of what I expected. It's not quite what I wanted in a real-time strategy game. But no, I'm more of a fan of I'm just a big sci-fi fan all round. StarCraft 2. I much prefer in my sort of like real-time strategy games. I've not banged on too much about that because it's not really come up in context. But they are probably two of my favorite real-time strategy games ever. And J-Station, I am ashamed to call you my friend. Yeah, that'll do. Ashamed to call you my friend, seeing as though you've not played either of them.
No, I know how big they are, but it's one of the ones I never got around to. Well, didn't have the means to, I guess, until very recently.
Yeah, but StarCraft 2 is free.
You still need something to play it on, though.
You still need something to play it on, but you've had a PC now for over a year.
It's true.
And you claim to like
all of that free time.
The thing is, you claim to like real-time strategy games. And you've had a PC for over a year. And you have not bothered to pick up a free game that I recommend. Yeah, I'm
well,
insulted.
a large part of that is, as you mentioned earlier, real-time strategy games tend to be very, very large. So I have not invested in any of them because as soon as you start one, you kind of in it. So I've played much shorter games or games that I'm streaming. I don't know about streaming strategy games, like real-time strategy games. It seems a bit. People do it though, and I have watched a few and I quite enjoy it. So I don't really know what the my hesitation with that is.
I feel that it's a bit 6 to 1.5 dozen the other. I feel that a lot of people who stream real-time strategy games have a fan base. I don't know. I've not seen many. I don't know. I mean, to a certain degree, it depends on.
A fan base, though.
Pardon?
It's like if CJ hasn't got a fan base or anything.
I didn't actually take it as that. That's a good read.
Well, no, I'm not saying that he doesn't have a fan base. I'm sort of like, if you want to. I was actually going to go the other way with this. It's actually, to a certain degree, for the most part, we've maintained that we stream because of the shits and giggles. We don't stream it because of the fan base.
Yeah.
So to a certain degree, yeah, do whatever you want. Stream real-time strategy games. And if it's not StarCraft, I will disown you.
Well, on that note, I need to get my cowboy hat on for tomorrow morning. So
yes.
I am going to
yeah.
mosey off onto the horizon.
I picked up a copy of Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah. Booted up the game and had no sound. I spent 45 minutes trying to get sound to work in the game.
Jesus.
Were you using Bluetooth headphones?
Nope.
Oh, damn it. I have no help to you.
Everything I could find on Google, all sorts of stuff. So in the end, I got it refunded. I'm like, I can't be bothered with this. I had the intro sound, so the shotgun loading bits.
Yeah.
I managed to get the menu sound to play once, but the moment I went into a game, zero sound. And I'm like, how the hell can Rockstar cock this up?
And your speakers aren't Bluetooth? That's the only issue I had at all.
No,
was
it's
Bluetooth
everything's all wired.
That's bizarre. Very bizarre.
So yeah, I
How
just
weird.
went, nope, right, fine. If they can't get a game to work, as much as I like watching you play it, and I wanted to play it, I'm like, nope. If they can't make this game work, I ain't getting it. So
45
yeah,
minutes trying to get sound working. It's that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a sorry. Bye.
yeah. So yeah, that was a bit of a shame because I was looking forward to trying to play that, and then I was like, oh, well, there goes that one. After spending the bloody age downloading it.
Oh yeah, that's one of the
GG
things.
Rockstar, GG.
Well, I'm surprised that nobody, mentioning Rockstar. Have you seen the latest fiasco, which is the original GTA 3 era being remastered and absolutely flopping?
It has blown up, but I will have to leave you to discuss that, as I shall be shooting off. Thank you so much for enjoying for some Hitman Ninja throwing stars, and also your the first silent assassin in a while.
Yeah, another elusive target silent assassin. Although, not gonna lie, I cheesed it. Gonna close out the stream now. I am Karen Rushmore. You can usually find me here on my channel on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, where I play a variety of games. Check out my schedule below, although I don't think it's up to date. You can next find me here on Tuesday, where I'm playing Final Fantasy XIV with a friend, Crit Commissions. You can also find me, JStation64, Crit Commissions, Grifu Banal, Retro Ted, and I think that's everybody. Yeah, that's everybody over on Manapot Studios on Mondays, 7:30 GMT, where we play a Starfinder Revenge Path, Fly Free or Die, in a stream that we call All That Glitters Explodes. And JStation.
Hello, I'm JStation64. You can find me today in 9 hours on my channel playing some Red Dead Redemption 2 as the Batman Arthur Morgan. I'm also doing a bonus stream of the previously mentioned earlier today, Populous 3 The Beginning, as my 6 month anniversary of streaming on Sunday, probably about midday. And then on Thursdays playing No Man's Sky, which we're back to the main story with Space Porky and crazy new things happening and asking questions about whether or not there's reasons for living and robots destroying their own children. It's all got a bit horrific.
And Micah.
So yeah, you can find me over on my channel, where I stream on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Although I may not be streaming tomorrow because I might be doing some board gaming with friends. It depends on if I get back in time. Saturdays is usually the co-op streams. Wednesdays is usually the art streams when I remember, and Fridays is my currently single player games. Just finished Superliminal. That was weird. And probably gonna do Dishonored. That seemed to get a few people interested, so I might have a look at doing that and pick that up as a game to try. And yeah, if it goes well, I might just keep doing it.
That does sound interesting.
I'll be sure to be checking in on that one. So, Dishonored is a game that I like, but I've never had a chance to sit down and play it. And I'm not entirely sure if it's one that I want to stream at the moment. Of course, I've got far too many games to be streaming, so yeah. By the time I get round to streaming it, everybody will have forgotten about your stream. Or they'll still be talking about it and I just won't bother. Either or.
Yep.
So yes, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Maybe go off and go raid somebody. I will sort that out. Maybe I accidentally... Yep, so we're gonna go raid the Painting Pirate. They're playing some Final Fantasy. Full stop. It's just Final Fantasy. The original.
The OG.
So we are gonna go off and do that, and hopefully you'll all join me. If not, hope to see you next time, and until then, tidy bye.
Bye-bye.